the Steelers.
Do you just want to be a football player, or do you want to be a superstar?
What truly separates the great from the good is the will.
Do you just want to be average, or you want to be great?
To be that dominant back, to make that long run.
There's a lot of guys in the NFL, but how many of them are great? How many of them stand out?
That's will. That's heart. Jamal's had that will for a long time. Jamal is
Power and speed.
he has a mentality of a bruiser.
He's delivering the blow instead of taking a lot of it.
Has the ability of a dancer.
It's like you think you know, but you really don't know.
It's a certain passion he has. It's him against the world. Run hard, run fast, and deal with everything else later.
Leadership comes in a lot of forms.
Lewis and Lewis, Jamal and Ray.
Those that show their passion.
Let's go! Here we come!
And there's guys, it's just the way they play.
When I'm in there dominating, he's over there eating it up.
Every time he runs, I always say, here we go.
I'm not happy with just being in the NFL. I want to be great.
Jamal wants the record.
He's been hungry
The players want the record.
to be this type of back.
When you know the offensive line says, we got to get you that record, we got to get you that record, then it's already done.
I saw his determination to be great, and now he has a chance to.
2000, 2000, 2000, 2000. That's what we work for.
The NFL's leading rusher, number 31, Jamal Lewis. Number 21, Chris McAllister.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. Courtesy of the Cincinnati Bengals loss earlier in the day, the Ravens are in the playoffs as the champions of the AFC North. But they still have something very special to play for tonight. NFL history. The magic number is 154, the number of yards that Jamal Lewis needs to set an all-time single-season NFL rushing record. That mark was established by Eric Dickerson 19 years ago. And since Lewis is averaging 130 yards a game this year, he has a legitimate shot. But Joe, against that Pittsburgh defense, is not going to be a picnic.
You know, Mike, people talk about blueprints, and the Pittsburgh Steelers basically have a blueprint for Jamal Lewis. They've only given up roughly 60 yards a game to him in the 5 times they've played him. They've been able to do it by simply playing a very disciplined 34 defense. What they do is they just will not allow him to take the cutback lanes. They're going to make him get whatever yards he gets going straight ahead. It's going to be all right for Jamal Lewis to get 5 and 6 yards, but if he can break one of those 30 or 40 or 50-yarders, he's going to have a chance, and it'll take a lot of pressure off of Anthony Wright if he does.
All right, thanks, Joe. And certainly that Steelers defense will face a test tonight. But, Paul, it's not just the defense, is it?
No, I think the best way for the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Ravens and Jamal Lewis is with their offense. They have an outstanding core of receivers, and they also have a running back by the name of Jerome Bettis, who may be playing his last game in a Pittsburgh uniform. Believe me, he'll be fired up for this ball game. He may be the guy that gets 154 yards because 2 out of his last 3 games, he's gained over 100 yards. And, oh, yeah, there's one other factor. The last 6 times that Pittsburgh's been here, they have won. And I don't see any reason why they can't do it again tonight.
All right, thank you, Paul. And when we come back, Susie Colbert with the man whose record is on the line tonight, Eric Dickerson. Welcome back to Baltimore, Maryland. Quite a sight as the Ravens have already clinched. Here's the playoff picture. Next Saturday, we'll be right back here as Tennessee faces the Ravens at 4:30 on ABC. 8 o'clock, ABC will be at Carolina with Dallas. Seattle at Green Bay on Sunday. And Denver with a rematch at Indianapolis. That's on CBS 4:30 Sunday afternoon.
Woo, coming back here, but we've got a rivalry tonight in Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and of course Baltimore and Tennessee have their own little feud going, so it really is. Bill Cowher not a part of the playoffs for the 4th time in 6 years.
He has said all week this is their playoff game, and they would just love to stuff Baltimore tonight. Steelers will get the ball first, and Lee Mays with a return across the 20 to the 23. The Steelers offense has one of the best up front, Alan Faneca, who will be in his 3rd straight Pro Bowl at guard, but because of injuries moved to left tackle. 3 straight Pro Bowls for Hines Ward, who has started the weekend number 4 in the NFL in catches. He needs just 7 for 100 this year. And Jerome Bettis continues to move up the all-time rushing charts. He needs just 14 yards to pass the legendary Jim Brown. Maddox to throw, 1st down, throws short, complete to Jeremy Tooman, the tight end out of Michigan, only his 11th catch of the year. Kelly Gregg has made a big impact in the middle for Baltimore. He's been in on a remarkable 94 tackles this year. Consensus All-Pro Ray Lewis has more than doubled that number, tying his own team record with 210 stops. This will be his 6th Pro Bowl. And 2nd-year safety Ed Reed, a Pro Bowler too. He's the secondary's big play guy and leads the club with 6 interceptions. The bus with his first carry, nothing. Didn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage. Bettis chasing the legendary Jim Brown, someone he met on the sideline when he was a youngster.
And they wanted, really, everybody thought that Jerome Bettis was somewhat benched early in the year, but it really wasn't the case. Bill Cowher wanted to rest him and have him for a playoff run. Unfortunately, they have him for the run, but it's not the playoffs.
Maddox in the shotgun as Zaraway comes in for Bettis. Maddox has it batted back in his face. Anthony Weaver from his left end spot got a hand up.
First of all, I don't know how you call signals in this noise because it is truly loud in here. But Anthony Weaver, number 98, is a guy that he's a defensive end, and he comes up in the middle and makes the play.
Josh Miller will kick to Lamont Brightful. He waits back at his 25. So 3 and out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brightful at the 27. Got a block at the corner, but only one, and returns to the 37-yard line after a 43-yard punt, a return of 10. That Ravens offensive line is the biggest in the league and terrific. Jonathan Ogden, a prototype tackle, is going to his 7th straight Pro Bowl. Todd Heap will be in his 2nd Pro Bowl. The last 2 years, he has 124 catches among tight ends. That's 2nd most in the NFL. And Anthony Wright has given the offense a real boost since taking over at quarterback. He's had big plays and comeback wins.
Play action, go deep.
No. I'm going to run. I think I'll start Jamal this time.
Jamal Lewis with the first of what may be many carries tonight. Breaks it outside. Up to the 43-yard line. Brent Alexander, the free safety, with the tackle.
You know, you just watch his legs. Watch his feet. They don't stop moving. Nothing stops. He doesn't stop, dig, move. He just continuous motion. That's why he has so many yards. Nothing stops.
He runs a little bit upright, a lot like Eric Dickerson did, and a little bit like Herschel Walker did with that same kind of quick little feet and power.
What a combination of size and speed. He can run over you for 4. He can run around you for 74. This one straight up the middle. Hit and fights forward to the 47-yard line, close to a first down. Kendrell Bell with the tackle. The Steelers have a top 10 defense, and nose tackle Casey Hampton has his first Pro Bowl. He's the best at that spot since Joel Steed. Jason Gilden, their most dangerous pass rusher, 6 sacks, and he has passed L.C. Greenwood as Pittsburgh's all-time leader. And the secondary has given up too many big plays, but Deshae Townsend has performed very well since becoming a starter. 3rd and a short 1. And they've got the first down on the handoff to Alan Ricard, the fullback.
You know, the one thing when we talked to Bill Cowher the other day, he said that, hey, let's face it, we're going to stop Jamal Lewis. We're going to stop Jamal Lewis. We do not want somebody to break a record in our football team.
I think what we have to do is say, Bill said, we're going to try and stop Jamal Lewis because they're going to feed him. Only 7 opposing players have rushed for 154 yards in his 206 games as a coach. And Jamal has never gotten over the century mark.
He's carried 2 out of the first 3 plays. Steelers show blitz, and they come with it. Jamal dragging tacklers with him near the 42-yard line. Let's go to Susie.
Well, we should credit the Steelers D with how they've contained Jamal Lewis. Kimo Von Olaf explains it's their brand of 3-4 defense, but it's remarkable. Against the Steelers, he averages 13 carries, just 60 yards. Against the rest of the league, 22 carries for an average of 103 yards. For Lewis, the solution to the ineffectiveness is simple. He says, give him the ball. If you look at my carries, it doesn't add up. I've just never gotten the ball a lot against these guys. Maybe it'll be different tonight.
I'd say that's a fair assessment, wouldn't you?
And Anthony Wright doesn't like what he sees and uses a timeout early in this ballgame with 10:48 to go first quarter. Ravens with their opening possession. Nothing, opening drive of the ballgame for the Baltimore Ravens. Jamal Lewis going for a piece of NFL history tonight. 1,969 yards so far, 31 away from being the 5th man ever in the 2,000-yard club.
I like the chance to take a shot right here with Travis Taylor.
And Lewis rolls and throws. Ricard, nice catch in the flat. Now for a fullback, that's pretty good hands.
Well, if you talk about everybody fired up, and when you see fullbacks making catches like this, you know everybody's on the same page.
Watch the play action fake. Look at the pursuit of the entire Pittsburgh Steelers defense. All the linebackers, all the defensive linemen. Ricard has a chance to go out and does a terrific job making the catch and picking up the yards. That's a nice catch.
Boy, and Anthony Wright has been a godsend for this team. Starting his 7th straight game, he has been better than those numbers. When Kyle Bowler got hurt and Chris Redmond failed, it was really up to him. Lewis high-stepping his way through the hole. 20, 15, 14-yard line. Mike Logan rode him out of bounds.
I'm telling you, when you sit up and you got each man has a gap and you don't take your gap, watch what he does. Jamal cuts back, which you talked about, Joe, he loves to do. This is what he does better than almost anybody.
And you got to give credit to Todd Heap, number 86, the tight end. Really not noted for his blocking up front, but that time he did an excellent job on Joey Porter. Now, we've talked about Jamal Lewis, Mike and Paul, but the guys up front, those 5 guys, I've got a nickname for them, too. In my opinion, they're just the blocking bullies. So every great runner needs an offensive line with a nickname. They've got one now.
They just overwhelm people. Lewis again. Stood up and knocked down at the 10.
You know, when you sit there and you watch this guy, you want to know why he's going to get 2,000 at least tonight. Look at his feet. Don't look at any other part. Watch his feet. He's going to get nailed right in the hole. But his legs just do not stop. He's hit here. Look at him. He slides. He moves. He's got power. He's up straight. And he still picks up another 2 yards.
And that's Mike Logan, number 31, a 215-pound safety that he just ran through.
Second and 7. Chester Taylor is in to give him a breather, and Taylor is dragged down in the backfield, still trying to fight for extra yardage. Hit and dragged down in a hurry by Kendrell Bell, who came in from his linebacker spot.
Chester considered defense, but
That's exactly what I'm saying. The Pittsburgh Steelers going, yeah, thanks. We need the break, too. You know, the big thing, I personally think, I found early in big games, you fight the adrenaline rush. I really think Jamal Lewis expended himself so much on those early runs that he needs to sort of get himself calmed down a little bit.
Drive's already lasted nearly 7 minutes. Third down for Anthony Wright. Short set goes for Heath in the end zone. Deshae Townsend is there and intercepted it.
Boy, now there's a guy who has played so well for the Pittsburgh Steelers ever since he took over as the starting corner. Deshae Townsend, he's going to go out and cover Toddy. This isn't a safety. This is a corner on the tight end. Usually corners will win that battle.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, brought to you by Porsche. Porsche, there is no substitute. And Amstel Light, the beer drinkers light beer.
Inner Harbor of Baltimore, just a gorgeous section of shops and dockside restaurants.
We got here a little late. We didn't get a chance to see them all.
Especially the shops.
Steelers from their own 20 after the interception. Ray Lewis, who has already set a season tackle record with 211 lining up for the Ravens. The bus only gets 2.
Ray Lewis and Joey Porter continue the verbal battle. This is this is actually right before the coin toss. Joey Porter and Ray Lewis going at it toe to toe. Now the official steps in. This looks more like a heavyweight fight than it does a football game in the middle of the ring.
The only problem is that they're not on the field at the same time. Now that would be a show.
No, that's a good thing.
Zeraway comes in on 2nd and 8. Maddox is intercepted, and Reed. That's the big play guy at the 35, his 7th pick of the year. He is a gambler, and that time he won.
Well, they were trying to throw the ball to Hines Ward, and Reed just read it all the way, watched the quarterback, stepped up, made the interception. It gives the Ravens ball inside the 40-yard line.
Both teams have committed a turnover. Ed Reed gets his 7th interception of the season. Ray Lewis says he is on his way to greatness. He's very close right now and only his 2nd year out of Miami. Ravens start from the 34. Jamal Lewis back in the ball game at tailback. And the big guy will get the carry. What a burst.
There's 2,000.
You know what they're doing? It's interesting the way that Matt Cavanaugh, the offensive coordinator of the Ravens, is calling this game. He is starting Jamal Lewis to the right almost every time behind Casey Raybach and Orlando Brown.
There's 2,000, Joseph.
Yeah, what he's doing is he starts him to the right. That way you've got Edwin Mutatalo and Jonathan Ogden on the left side being able to build the wall.
Only the 5th man ever with 2,000. He's now 106 away from the all-time single-season record. And he will get a few more opportunities. Lewis! Touchdown!
That's 29 more.
Wow. Wow. He just passed O.J. Simpson and Terrell Davis, 3rd all-time.
In 2 plays, he went from not being there, that's right, to knocking on Eric Dickerson's door. Hello, Eric. Can you hear me coming?
I'll tell you what, though. You talk about great speed. When he hits this hole, watch the speed with which he hits it. Bang! And the blocking downfield is unbelievable. They blocked for this guy as well as anybody I've seen. That was Travis Taylor, 89, getting the block.
And how good is Lewis? He's averaging almost 99 yards a game for his career. That's second only to Jim Brown.
Look at that, 3rd place all-time single-season rushing. Watch Mutatalo, the left guard, and Ogden, number 75, the left tackle. These 2 guys on the left side, they create a crater there. And again, you can't say enough about the job Todd Heap has done.
You know what? There's nothing. If you don't touch him, you can't stop it.
He's not.
Look at this. He doesn't get touched.
He's not down in 2-hand touch.
No one touched him.
Oh, and you know what? You just don't want to give him a chance to get going. I mean, that's when I talked to Tim Lewis, the defensive coordinator of the Steelers. Yeah, he said we just don't want to give him those big runs. Well, you're right. Too late. This is exciting.
73 yards in the first quarter for Jamal Lewis.
There's been more excitement in this game than we've had all year long, and there's only 7 points been scored.
That was set up by the interception from Ed Reed. Boy, is he special.
Wow. I'll tell you, the Pittsburgh Steelers better calm down, not only defensively, but offensively, and get back in this ball game, or they're going to get blown out of here.
I think I saw Jeff Fisher turn a page on his notebook, the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, who gets to play this Raven team next week.
Boy, congratulations to Tennessee, and especially to Neil O'Donnell, did a brilliant job. Steelers get the ball back, and Ike Taylor on the return. And Cornell Brown slams him to the ground. Let's go to Susie.
And guys, for Lewis, it all comes back to how hard he worked rehabilitating his reconstructed knee. If you ask him what rushing to 2,000 yards means, he says it's a product of how hard he worked, of how hard the trainers worked with him. As he was rehabbing, they kept drilling into his head, 2,000, 2,000. He says he owes them huge thanks, and he knows how proud they are of him tonight. The record, he says, will just be icing on the cake.
And Susie, he had the other knee reconstructed in college.
Tell you, the other guy I better be careful is Emmitt Smith, the all-time record holder.
The bus swallowed up shy of the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you what,
Weaver was in on that stop.
Pittsburgh gets 3 yards. That's a victory. The Ravens get 20 yards. I mean, it's just incredible watching how fired up this football team is. And remember, folks, all right, they're trying to get this guy the record, but this team is already in the playoffs. You would not know it.
And the Steelers need to catch up emotionally. Antoine Randall L. has checked in. Randall L. on the toss, horse-collared after he gained only a yard.
The Pittsburgh Steelers need to get a first down here. This is imperative that they get a first down against this Raven defense, but it's going to be hard when you've got a back like Randall L. trying to run away from a linebacker like Ray Lewis. It's not going to happen.
Did you see Fenica hit Ray Lewis?
All-pro against all-pro.
Yeah, but all Ray Lewis did was bounce. It just kept going to the outside.
Zaraway comes in on 3rd and 6. 4 wideouts for the Steelers. 4-man rush for Baltimore. The pass underneath will be a first down as Hines Ward makes his first grab, his 94th of the year.
They talk about big-time players making big-time plays. That was a big-time play for Hines Ward. Gary Baxter is on him. Ward just does a little pivot out and manages to pick up the first down. And these fans now get a chance to take a breath.
Not for long.
All they want right now is to get this ball back for Jamal Lewis. Maddox with time, then throws. Got this one complete, and it's Plexico Burris across midfield, gain of 13.
Keep in mind, the first time that these two teams locked up earlier this year, Pittsburgh basically won the football game and dominated. Plexico Burris had 6 catches for 116 yards. Hines Ward had 9 catches for 91. Again, Gary Baxter in coverage. Gary Baxter really is a safety who has the versatility to play corner.
First down, Steelers into Ravens territory. Bettis following Kreider. Hit in the backfield and dragged out. Hartwell finished him off after Cornell Brown messed up the timing of the play.
Well, I mean, there's just no way to run the ball when you have a defensive lineman or a linebacker in the backfield. Cornell Brown, number 90. Watch this, folks. He is in the backfield. Now, he doesn't knock Jerome Bettis down, but all he had to do was slow him up.
And that's the big thing about the 3-4 defense with those 4 linebackers and the speed they have. All you need to do is disrupt the timing a little bit, and they can make the plays.
2nd and 13. Brown is starting because of the injury to All-Pro Peter Boulware. Zaraway caught by an ankle, goes down at the 49 in the arms of Kelly Gregg. In case you just joined us, Jamal Lewis off to a fast start. He has already joined the 2,000-yard club. He has passed O.J. Simpson and Terrell Davis on the single-season rushing list, the only 2 players ahead of him. Barry Sanders, he needs 29 yards to pass him, and he needs 81 yards to pass Eric Dickerson for number 1 all-time.
And there's a situation you don't want to be against this Ravens team, and that's 3rd and long.
Underneath, Zaraway. Nice move, and Ray Lewis wraps him up shy of the first down.
Let me tell you something, Amos Zaraway. Don't stop when Ray Lewis is coming after you. Don't stop. You've got to get this first down. Watch this pursuit. Ray Lewis, Zaraway stops, and when you stop, you're not going anywhere. Ray Lewis is going to nail you.
I think the Baltimore Ravens as a whole have probably the best tackling unit when it comes to people in the open field, as well as stopping them and not allowing that few extra yards after contact.
Brightful is deep for the punt. A beautiful high floater from Miller. And stopped at the 1-yard line. And now they're going to say it's a touchback. Chidi Uoma got down and appeared to make a brilliant play, but must have touched the goal line. Next in the bullseye for Jamal Lewis, Barry Sanders, only 28 yards away. .154 to go first quarter. Ravens will take over at their own 20-yard line, leading the Steelers 7-0. Jamal Lewis has joined the 2000 club, and now he can see Barry Sanders and Eric Dickerson in his sights.
And when you wonder why the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't go for it on 4th down, they're not going anywhere. You want to give this team that ball at the 40-yard line?
You still have to play a football game.
Yes,
you just can't make foolish decisions. I mean, Bill Cowher came here to win. It's only 7-0.
Long count by Wright. Lewis off the right side again, cuts back, and only got back to the line of scrimmage. Casey Hampton with the tackle. Eight carries, 73 yards so far for Jamal Lewis.
That's the first time the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line has gotten to the other side of the line of scrimmage.
They still didn't hit him for a loss.
Jamal only needs 81 yards for the NFL record, and we are counting.
Which tells you he may be in there long term tonight. Anthony Wright with this screen.
Oh, Casey Hampton, what a play he makes. I mean, this is a big man in the middle of a big line.
Terry Jones Jr. appeared to have the edge on Hampton, but the Pro Bowl nose tackle got out there.
Look at number 98. This is a big man. Now he reads screen. Now watch him get to the outside. He doesn't make the initial play, but he makes the tackle.
Well, now there's a guy going to his first Pro Bowl, and normally the nose tackles are there to occupy space. He covers a lot of space from sideline to sideline.
Chester Taylor comes in on 3rd down. Here's the blitz. Taylor makes the catch, trying to get to the sticks. Nice play by Dwayne Washington. Would not let Travis Taylor get outside.
They're going to be short. The way they're walking this thing off, they're going to be about a half a football short. It's easy. If they get to the 30-yard line, it's a first down. If it doesn't, it isn't. Well, this one I can call. You can call this one, Joe.
You're so good. I learned so much from you.
I know you do.
Look at that. Oh, that looked a little bit like the play in the Arizona-Minnesota game. Wow, what a finish that was today.
That was unbelievable. And what a crusher for the Vikings. That's the end of the first quarter. You're watching history on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens over the Steelers. Ready to start the second quarter from Baltimore, where the Ravens are on top of the Steelers 7-0. And Baltimore preparing to punt. Zastaville to kick to Antoine Randall L.
And this guy's exciting.
He has 2 punt returns for touchdowns this year after a very slow start. Short. Randall L tells everybody to get away from it. And that hit the Steeler.
It did. It did. I believe that's Chris Doring, number 83. It looked like it bounced off his chest.
They said no, Joe.
Boy, he was lucky.
You know, that ball took an awfully interesting bounce. and I use the term interesting as unusual. I believe it's now. No,
it hits.
And it may have been touched by a Raven first. If so, it wouldn't matter if it hit Goring. Welcome back to a 7-0 Ravens lead. Our Sunday stud question, who is this season's MVP? How about Tom Brady with the team with such a great record, the New England Patriots? Priest Holmes, who scored touchdown after touchdown. Jamal Lewis, who was going for the record all time. Peyton Manning, who threw for over 4,000 yards, or Steve McNair, who has made so many big plays this year. You can vote at NFL.com.
I like that guy right there.
I think that guy there and Steve McNair could be the two big vote getters.
Bettis lowers his shoulder and pounds his way out to the 24.
When I talked to Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator of the Steelers today, he basically said, we haven't had a whole lot of success running the football, but we need to keep running the football just to keep them honest and try and wear down this Baltimore defense. And I don't believe that you can just drop Tommy Maddox back in a pocket time after time again and expect to have success against this defense. They're running just enough.
I don't think you need to run play action against them either, because you're not going to fool anybody with play action. If you're going to throw, go ahead back and throw it.
2nd and 7. Maddox has it batted right down in his face again. Maake Kiamatu.
I don't know if I have ever seen all year 4 defensive linemen in front of the quarterback and their offensive line nowhere near it. There comes Terrell Suggs inside. This is going to be a little screen, and Tommy Maddox just can't get it off.
Well, you want to invite the lineman in, but not quite that fast.
Make them work a little.
3rd and 7. 3 wideouts and 0 away. Maddox, Randall L. makes the catch, then gave ground, dives forward again, and appears to have the first down.
Boy, I tell you, this is an outstanding route by Antoine Randall L., number 82. First of all, he's very quick. Now watch this move out and then come back to the ball. Boy, that is perfect. He almost didn't get that first down. That last little lunge got it for him.
The other thing,
he had it, gave it up, and got it back.
The other thing you have to appreciate about Antoine Randall L. is this is really only his 2nd year as a wide receiver. He's going to get better and better.
He was a quarterback at Indiana. Bettis tries to get outside, maybe a yard. Let's go to Susie.
And guys, don't expect this to be Jerome Bettis' last game. I talked to him beforehand. He said he feels great. He wants to stay and play. And he said maybe the circumstances of this season, when he was demoted at the beginning of the season to 2nd string and now starting again, will make the Steelers look at him as a jewel and not garbage that they just want to throw away. He wants to stay a Steeler, and he wants to be back next year.
And Susie, he needs only 8 more yards to move past Jim Brown on the all-time career list. 2nd and 10. Bettis again. Chugging across the 45 to the 49.
All right, there's 2 different plays with Jerome Bettis. One, he tried to get to the outside or get him to the outside. You're not going to do that against this team because, first of all, he's not fast enough to get out there, and you can't outrun Ray Lewis. This is the place you got to run Jerome Bettis, is in between the tackles. But if you don't run him there, you're not going to be able to run him.
But don't you agree that it's a good way to start him outside and then have him cut back in, at least give him the illusion he's going to go and spread the line out a little bit, get Ray running?
You think he's going to give you an illusion?
No, he's too big for an illusion.
3rd and 3. Blitz coming. Maddox hangs in there, has another one batted down.
Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis. Getting in your face, watching where the ball is, and then timing it perfectly. Number 52. That's the last time we really have to tell his number, I guess. Ray Lewis. Bang.
You know what you have to love as much about him as anything? If this team was 0-15, he'd be playing exactly the same.
You wouldn't know the score. You wouldn't know their record.
Miller to punt to Brightful. Signals fair catch and makes it at the 15-yard line. 36-yard punt, no return. And Jamal Lewis, who got off to such a hot start. Can he get that record? I brought my boat to see the game.
Yeah, I saw all those guys in the bottom rowing it.
You come over? That's, hey, made me load the guns.
He needs 29 yards to pass Barry Sanders, number 2 all-time in a single season.
With the right kind of run here, he could get it all.
Lewis trips, stumbles forward to the 14. All right, our Sunday stud question. Who's the season's MVP? Tom Brady led New England to a 14-2 record. Priest Holmes had 27 rushing touchdowns. Jamal trying to set a single-season record for Baltimore. Peyton Manning only passed for 4,267 yards. And an off-an-inch Steve McNair had 24 touchdown passes this year. Vote right now by logging on to ESPN.com.
Any one of them deserves it. Any one.
Wright sits in the pocket, almost intercepted right in Porter's hands. And Todd Heap wants an interference call, and he's not going to get it. Casey Hampton, the nose tackle, was out on it. And Heap is really upset.
I'll tell you, I thought this was pass interference. I really and truly did.
Oh, Joey Porter can't believe it. That ball goes flying through. He has it for a second. As he turns and starts to run, it just gets away from him.
Porter is just sick.
I think the official said, I'm not going to call pass interference on
a nose
tackle.
The guy's number 98. What's he doing back there?
He can do anything he wants, can't he? He gets out in the flat. Underneath Chester Taylor. And he can only get to the 19-yard line, and the Ravens want to kick it away.
You know, when you talk about the most valuable player, and you know, I'm not downgrading any football team, but you look at Jamal Lewis and what he means to this football team. I mean, you got Peyton Manning, and you have a whole bunch of guys on offense. When you look at the Ravens, what do you have on offense?
You know, Paul, I think you can make
What do you have?
Well, you've got Jamal Lewis.
Thank you very much.
But I think the other thing is Priest Holmes. You can say that same thing about Kansas City. I mean, he is their heart and soul, too.
Antoine Randall waits for the punt.
Oh,
got nothing. Chester Taylor quickly downfield made a solid tackle. There is a flag, though, back at the 22-yard line.
And eligible member of the kicking team, number 29, offense. Downfield before the kick, 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 4th down.
Maybe that's why Chester Taylor got downfield so quickly.
Well, that was nice and easy for Walt Anderson to say. When your lips get cold, it's hard to move them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And couldn't you agree more?
Well, I'll tell you what. You don't ever want to give Antoine Randall an extra try.
You don't want to kick one of those low-line drives that he gets about 15 yards of running start.
Zastudil will now wait for the ball on the goal line, and Randall L. moves up closer to the 45. Such an exciting player. And a kid with a great personality and an unlimited future. Short this time. And another flag down.
There's holding on Pittsburgh's defense. They held up the wideout, the gunner on the right-hand side. Chris Hope, 28 and 29, both of these guys. Then there's another flag that was thrown way downfield. Watch this. Now, that one is not holding. On the other side of the field is where they're holding.
Holding, number 28, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down, timeout.
Well, that was pretty close, too. But the penalty was actually thrown on the other side, so the Steelers will have to back it up. .10:16 to go. Second quarter play from Baltimore. Steelers backed up by a penalty to their own 42. They'll start from there down 7-0.
And don't let this Steeler team stay in this ball game. Remember, they won the last 6 times down here.
Antoine Randall takes the direct snap, fakes the draw, and throws on one hop to Kreider. So they tried to cross him up with Randall L. Ed Reed wired for Sunday night, already an active night.
Fucking holding me, man! Damn! He holding me, ref! He held me, ref! Come on, baby! He hooked me, ref!
And Walt Anderson just walked on by.
And he was right. He did hold him.
Well,
Zero-way tackle by Douglas. Excuse me, Sue.
We talked to Tommy Maddox this afternoon about facing a couple of Pro Bowlers in that Baltimore secondary, specifically Ed Reed. He said he predicted that Reed would read his eyes, that he would need to be careful about Reed jumping something, and he knew he wasn't going to be able to look down a receiver. It's already happened once tonight.
And Susie, all this crowd cares about is getting the ball back. Screen, Zerouay. Got a nice block out in front, and Zerouay dives forward to the 45-yard line. Faneca out in front through a good block to get him some space.
Nice call by Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator of the Steelers. What he does is, all right, if everybody's jacked up, they want to come after Tommy Maddox, fine. It's a little bit of a slower screen. Good job by the offensive lineman. Russ Grimm, the offensive line coach, and what should be a future Hall of Famer, I had a chance to play with, and that's one of the things that he used to stress all the time as a lineman. Get out and throw 6. Put the defensive guy on the ground.
They convert a 3rd and 7. Bettis diving to the 43. And Jerome Bettis with 15 yards has moved into 6th place all time. 12,314 yards.
And they've been tough yards tonight, folks.
You know, when you move Gary Baxter, number 28 for the Ravens, to corner, you basically get a 6'2", 205-pound corner to come up and support the run, which really helps that Raven defense.
Well, they gave him a 3-yard gain, and when it was 2, so it's up to 15. But Jerome deserves a little bit, and now he pounds straight ahead to the 37-yard line where Ed Hartwell made the stop.
You know, 2 out of the last 3 games, Jerome Bettis has had over 100 yards. And I tell you, this guy is unbelievable. That I have never, ever, in all the years that I've known Jerome Bettis, have you ever seen him down?
No.
I mean, he is the most positive player you'll ever come across.
The only time I've ever seen him down a little bit was when he was hurt and he couldn't contribute. That's the only time it really gets to him.
But when he lost his starting job at the beginning of this year, he was the ultimate team player. He didn't whine about it. He is a class act. Zerouay is in on 3rd and 2. Zerouay, a little shovel. Can't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Anthony Weaver, I'm going to tell you what, that's the second time we've seen Anthony Weaver in the backfield.
I'm not convinced that that's the right kind of play against this defense. They're just too quick.
Well, look at Anthony Weaver. They're spinning him around. First of all, he was held, and then he was thrown into Zerouay.
Well, unfortunately, he was thrown at Zerouay's feet.
They're going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Gotta like Bill Cowher for this one.
Well, you don't have to worry about a hard count pulling somebody off sides. Nobody can hear anything.
And now Maddox has to burn a timeout. He'll talk to Bill Cowher about this one. .6:45 to go in the half. The Steelers have changed their mind and sent on the punting unit. The Ravens defense is still on the field. They're not buying it.
Well, see, that's why Tommy Maddox took the timeout. He wanted to go over and check with Coach Cowher and really make sure they wanted to kick.
Miller sky high. And Reed is back to make the fair catch.
Reed wants interference.
He can't buy a break tonight.
No,
Ed Reed cannot buy a break.
He's been held, knocked down, and they just pretend he's not even there. Jamal Lewis came into this game short of 2,000, became the 5th man ever to join that exclusive club. And now Barry Sanders and Eric Dickerson are the only ones still ahead of him. He needs 29 yards to pass Barry Sanders and 81 to pass Eric Dickerson. Lewis tries that little cutback, and Joey Porter is right there to bring him down after a gain of only a yard. Let's go to Susie.
Well, obviously the Steelers' goal is to stop Jamal from making history, but to fine-tune that goal, Kimo Van Olhoffen said today that the goal is yards per carry. Now, they consider 3.5 acceptable, but his average in the first quarter was 10.4. The whole point was it encompasses long runs. They didn't want him to break one, which he already did. It stands for consistency, focus, sustaining throughout. Already the edge is to Jamal.
And Susie, did you see Brian Billick saying he wants the crowd quiet? For heaven's sake, our offense is out there. Long pass underthrown. Washington with good position against Marcus Robinson, who has been the go-to guy ever since Anthony Wright became the starter.
Is that as far as Anthony Wright can throw
That's as far as he can throw it. But here's the thing. That's a good call by Matt Cavanaugh, the offensive coordinator, because what you don't want to do is just focus on Jamal Lewis. You don't want to turn this into a game where you just want to run the football. You have to take your shots down the field. You've got to keep the secondary honest and at least try and make plays. And Marcus Robinson has been a guy that's been on fire. 16 catches in the last 5 games for 6 touchdowns.
Take a little shorter route.
Chester Taylor comes on 3rd and long, so Lewis is out of there. Little shovel to Taylor and nothing doing. Gain maybe a yard.
Kimo Van Olhoffen making the tackle. Kimo's a great guy.
Van Olhoffen.
That's what I said, Van Olhoffen.
We're throwing in there now.
It's cold.
Don't throw cold in.
Cold.
I'll tell you what, this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, they have come to play. Remember how well they play against the Ravens.
Kimo talked about their defense matches up pretty well against the Raven offense. So far it has, except for a few spurts by Jamal Lewis.
Zastaville again has to kick to Antoine Randall L. Steelers got some pressure on, but he got out of there. Randall L from the 43. Oh, midfield to the 41. 16-yard return after a punt of 45. Jerome Sapp made the tackle, but a nice return by Antoine Randall L.
No.
5 minutes to go first half. The Steelers have hung in there, down 7-0 to the Ravens, and now they get to start from the Baltimore 41-yard line. These teams literally despise each other, and Pittsburgh says this is their playoff game and they want to win. Maddox under pressure. Hartwell with a sack. The third-year linebacker out of Western Illinois.
You know, guys, when we talked to Bill Cowher yesterday, he basically talked about Ray Lewis, and he said the guys that play with him, you get the feeling that they don't want to disappoint Ray. And you see Ed Hartwell come around the corner just flat clean and grab Tommy Maddox. It seems like Ray, and I'll give him that much credit, just takes everybody else to another level.
Well, if you're out there with him and he says, Theismann, you better play hard, you're going to say, yes, sir.
Yeah, how hard do you want me to play, Coach?
2nd and 16. Maddox, down he goes. Marcus Douglas.
I'll tell you one thing, Tommy Maddox, you cannot sit in that pocket against this football team and wait and wait and wait. You better run shorter patterns. Marcus Douglas, it comes right up the middle. He's number 94. Look at the pressure. I mean, that is just taking the offensive lineman, Vincent, number 68, back to the quarterback and then bury the quarterback.
That's 44 sacks for the Ravens this year. 44.
And with Peter Boulware out of the game, they're featuring a little bit more four-man line than they have in the past.
3rd and 21. Well, they want the screen, almost intercepted by Terrell Suggs. Would have had a touchdown.
Boy, here's a guy, Terrell Suggs, who has really come on for a football team. This guy is playing linebacker. Watch him read this screen. He feels that he doesn't have any pressure. They're not trying to block me, so I'm going to get to the outside. If he catches it, he's got 6.
Here's a kid that's learned how to play standing up. Was a defensive end in college at Arizona State, and now he's learning to play up and down.
The Steelers had a first down from the 41, and they lost 11 yards in 3 plays. Brightful has a seam and just tripped up. He almost broke it. Mike Schneck tripped him up. There's a marker down on the play.
Schneck got him by the foot.
We're all getting punchy, aren't we?
Get him by the schneck.
You could have got him by the neck.
He just schnecked him.
Quarterback Jeff Smoker has been one of college football's biggest surprise stories this year. And tomorrow night, as Michigan State Spartans will meet one of the nation's most storied programs, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, in the Alamo Bowl. That's at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Hope you'll join us for that. All part of Capital One Bowl Week.
There are a lot of football games coming up. New Year's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, they usually play a few on New Year's Day.
Do you watch them all?
I love to
well,
watch
you
them.
can't. Now
Okay.
we got work to do.
But I put it on while I'm preparing.
To do what?
I watch the bowl games while I'm getting ready for our games. Brian Billick has to be tickled with the intensity level. I think you always wonder when a team has sewed up an opportunity to go to the playoffs, the coach just has to say to himself, who plays, how long do they play? But both Bill Cowher and Brian Billick have got their guys playing hard.
Well, they're going to punt again. And this is a 15-yard penalty.
Unsportsmanlike conduct for an illegal substitution. And now Ed Reed trying to get the crowd jacked up as if the crowd needed it. That's Brightful, who now waits at the 20.
Another great kick.
Reed backpedals.
Flip.
Block in the back at the 17-yard line. After a 48-yard punt, it was a beauty. Jamal Lewis got off to a hot start, trying to become the 5th man ever to join the 2,000-yard club. He did that early. Since then, he has passed O.J. Simpson and Terrell Davis. Only 2 men in front of him for the single-season rushing record, but he's been stuck on 2,027 yards.
You know, when he was into it the second drive, Joe, the first drive, and when he was running very well, and they took him out of the ball game. Then he made a couple plays, and
he took himself out.
Yeah, he was tired.
He needed a little bit of a blow. I think he had an adrenaline flow, a little bit of adrenaline depletion, and then now has had to come back.
They've done a good job, the Steelers defense has, of stopping him on first down, and that changes the way they want to run things. And now Lewis throws in the flat, or Jamal Lewis catches it in the flat, breaks a tackle, gets up to the 24-yard line on the pass from Anthony Wright.
He just stuck his arm out and knocked Kendrell Bell down. Now, Kendrell Bell is a linebacker, and a pretty good one. But when you look at this, here comes Jamal Lewis. He's going to catch a little slip pass on the outside. Watch his stiff arm. Go down. Thank you very much. And I'll pick up another 10.
And did you see the quickness and the explosion after he gets the ball in his hands? He had 25 catches coming into this ball game. He certainly has the ability to be a receiver, and when he gets in space, I don't think one guy can bring him down.
And that's a 245-pound running back. Wright airs this one out. Robinson, the pass underthrown, and Deshae Townsend was right there again.
Boy, Marcus Robinson absolutely runs by Deshae Townsend. Anthony Wright is going to have to get this ball up quicker if he wants a chance to be able to have the big play.
Honestly, now, I asked you this before, and I'm not making fun of him, but how far can he actually throw the ball, do you think? Well, because both of them have been short.
I know I can still throw it 60 yards. I'm sure he can throw it 65. But throwing deep has nothing to do with how strong your arm is. It has to do with how quickly you get it out of your hands. He's got to set quicker and get it up quicker. He can't wait that long.
And there were some scattered boos there because Jamal Lewis didn't get the carry. He'll get this one and gain maybe 2.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Did I ask him how far he could throw it? I said, how far can Anthony Wright throw it?
I'm just saying, if I can throw it 60, he's got to be able to throw it 70.
You can still throw it 60?
Yes. What are you laughing about?
I have to go home now.
I'm sorry. I was just putting it in a perspective for you.
Lewis has cut it to 77 yards. That's what he needs for the record.
And we're coming up on the 2-minute warning here in the first half.
11 carries, 77 yards for Jamal Lewis. Two minutes to go. First half from Baltimore. The Ravens leading the Steelers 7-0, and Baltimore has the ball at its own 25-yard line, facing a 3rd and long. So Jamal Lewis is on the sideline. He has gained 77 yards so far. That's exactly half of what he needed coming in to break Eric Dickerson's single-season record. Chester Taylor in his place at tailback right now at the 2-minute mark. Oh, they move. A lot of movement up front.
I talked to Brian Billick on the field before the ball game.
Before the snap. False start, 78. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And I asked him, I said, you know, what do you want to do with Jamal now that you've got the playoffs clinched and you're going to go in? He said, I'm going to see how the game goes. He said, we're going to play this thing to win. I can't sit down. These guys have worked hard and ask backup guys to go out and play. He said, I want to get a feel for where he is in perspective to the record. And right now, I would think that Jamal's going to play a lot of football.
Taylor on the toss, cuts it back, and will be stopped shy of the first down to 29.
You know, you talk about Jamal Lewis getting the record, but we sometimes fail to realize how important it is to the offensive line.
Sure.
Because it's theirs. It's not just his. And it's the entire football team, offensively, defensively, because the defense gets them the ball back. But when you look at this offensive line, and when you get your player to break that record or get him to 2,000 yards, these guys are bubbling all over the place.
Well, just think of how many things have to come together to have a shot at a record like this. You have to have a great running back to start with. You have to have the philosophy to run it. You have to have a great offensive line. And you have to have a defense that can stop the other guy, and you have to stay healthy. Let's go to Susie.
Well, Brian Billick was sharing with us that when Jamal broke that single game mark and they took his jersey to the Hall of Fame, that it appeared to mean even more to the offensive line, because for a lot of them, they know they might otherwise not wind up in the Hall of Fame, but as a collective group, because of Jamal, they just might. I mean, it means a lot to the entire team.
1:42 left. The Ravens will have to punt it away. Antoine Randall from the 26. Look at that quickness. Uh-oh. Down the sideline, 45, and forced out of bounds just shy of midfield. Let's check in with Chris Berman. Boomer.
Happy New Year, everybody. You'll want to join us at halftime for our fastest 3 minutes and the wild ending to the playoff scenario, which we will run down. Our halftime heroes include the record breakers and a tribute to Ravens owner Art Modell, his last regular season game, although he has the playoffs to look forward to.
All right, Chris, thanks very much. 1:29 to go here in the first half. And unfortunately, we will not see the Ravens owner here tonight. He is home with the flu. They're going to have a big ceremony and induct him into the Ravens Ring of Honor tonight. And they are now planning to do it next week, and we'll be here for it. Maddox. Good throw to the sideline, complete to Ron Johnson.
Well, that time he did have the time to throw the football. I believe that if the Ravens bring more than 4, that Tommy Maddox will not have the time that he had there and will have to move around, which is not his forte. The one thing when I talked to Mike Mularkey, their coordinator, also is he felt like Tommy has managed the game a lot better in the last couple of months. He struggled in the game we did against Cleveland earlier in the year.
Last few ball games, he has played very, very well. Pressure on Maddox, throws on the run, incomplete, and just threw it to an empty space, no flag.
Well, there was a receiver in the area. And that's all you have to do, and that was Hines Ward. He was in the area.
You mean in the stadium?
In the stadium area. Art Modell is not here because he has the flu, and they were going to present him. You know, there's so many things that this guy has done for this game, the National Football League. Not just here, not just in Cleveland, but for the entire National Football League. And you are missed, Arthur.
Well, we'll see him next week.
Maddox in the shotgun. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Maddox with plenty of time to throw. Let's see. Fumble or incomplete? It's called incomplete. Ed Reed just unloaded on Randall L.
Antoine Randall L. wants to catch and wants to be down, but Ed Reed almost dismembered him. Look, wow. I mean, that is a great shoulder shot. Not only did he hit him, he hit his own man afterward.
I'm not convinced that's not a catch.
No, he doesn't have control of the ball.
He sure doesn't now.
Boy, this are hitting in this ball game. Don't you love it?
The Ravens will lay some wood on you.
He knocked over Terrell Suggs, his teammate, as well.
Maddox double pumped, incomplete. Knocked away by McAllister, another Pro Bowler intended for Burris.
Right now, the secondary of the Baltimore Ravens are in the heads of the wide receivers. Maybe not Hines Ward, but they sure have made an impression on Plexico Burris and Antoine Randall L. I mean, they are right with him step for step.
Well, the impression on Randall L is in his chest. 4th and 10, they'll have to kick it away.
They really don't like one another.
No, they don't. Another beautiful kick by Miller. And he goes into the end zone. Just 40-yard kick. Ed Reed wired, now picked up by the Ravens. Brightful picked it up in the end zone. And it will be Ravens ball. Reed wired for Sunday night.
The official.
That's all he needs to say, isn't it?
Whoa.
So I said he was official.
Well, what happened on that play is that the Steelers touched the ball, then it went into the end zone. Rifle picked the ball up because no matter what happens, he felt he could pick it up. He could he could run 99 yards and get tackled in one fumble, and they still get the ball back. But
ball is illegally touched by Pittsburgh. Baltimore, by running the ball out of the end zone, it's their ball at the 7-yard line.
So it doesn't automatically go to the 20-yard line. But the thing is, if he did try and pick it up and let's say he fumbled it, then the ball still would remain in the hands of the Baltimore Ravens. That would be the only positive for what he did.
That's right. From that standpoint, it's a smart play. It's not a smart play if you only get it back to the 7, because they would have had it at the 20.
And they're going to take a knee here.
So Jamal Lewis is not going to get a shot at adding to his 77-yard first-half total. And the Ravens apparently will be satisfied to go to the locker room with a 7-0 lead on one of their arch rivals.
And they have to run at least one more play or another knee.
Which would be another play, right?
Or
do you even think about giving it to Lewis here?
No, you don't think about anything. You think about going into halftime with a 7-point lead, coming out and playing the second half.
People don't like it, but that's okay.
They'll take a knee. Jamal Lewis, 77 yards in the first half. He needs another 77 in the second half to pass Eric Dickerson for the single-season NFL rushing record. Let's go to Susie with Brian Billick.
A week early, it already feels like the playoffs. What would you like to see your offense doing?
Well, you know, we ran the ball fairly well. We're trying to shorten this game as quick as we can. Come away with the win. Missed some opportunities down the field, but we're running the ball decently, and defense is playing well.
What circumstance would you not have Jamal shoot for it?
When I do it, you'll know it.
Thanks,
Okay.
Thank you, Susie. Our score here at the M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Ravens 7-0 over the Steelers. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota Halftime Show.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. So Jamal Lewis quest for the record and a defensive struggle, the orders of business here in Sunday Night Football here on ESPN. But, boy, the final Sunday of the season, my goodness, could you have a wilder finish involving playoff scenarios with several teams? No, you could not. So let's start our fastest 3 minutes, though, with why the Ravens are champs of their division, the AFC North, and that result is because of the Cincinnati Bengals this afternoon. The Bengals trying to be 9-7 and force the Ravens to win. And when Rudy Johnson scored against Cleveland, they led 14-13. But on this day, the carriage turned into a pumpkin of the Cinderella Bengals thanks to the running of Lee Suggs. 2 touchdowns for him, and down by 8, John Kitna overthrow the final chance. The Bengals lose 22-14 to Cleveland. The AFC South up for grabs. Neil O'Donnell out of football almost all of this year. The strike to Derek Mason, Tennessee rolls, defending champion Tampa Bay 33-13. Meanwhile, Houston had a 2-touchdown lead on Indianapolis. St. Dominic's Preview Davis with a pair of scores. Peyton Manning to Brandon Stokely tied it at 17. And on his 41st straight field goal NFL record, Mike Vanderjagt, 43 yards good. Colts win the division, they win 2017. Ex-Ram Azakeen playing for Detroit, as the Rams, looking for home field advantage in the NFC, led Detroit by 10. But Azakeen runs for 35 yards. Then Detroit brought the defense. Otis, my man Smith, knocks Mark Bolger out of the game. Rams lose 30-20, Eagles home field. Aaron Brooks, Donde Stallworth, no miracle pitch this time. Saints beat Dallas 13-7. With that result, Seattle in the playoffs. Now left, the NFC North. Brett Favre through the hands of the Broncos and into the hands of Bubba Franks. They scored from 2, they scored from 0, and they scored from 98. Come on, Green, touchdown. And the Packers beat Denver 31-3, but they needed a miracle from Josh Tears of McCown to Steve Bush. A 2-point conversion fails, but it's a 5-point game against Minnesota. And on 4th and 24, after the onside kick recovered, McCown, Nate Poole, yes, touchdown, and Arizona wins 18-17, eliminating the Vikes. Priest Holmes scored not once on a walk, but he scored twice, putting him in the record books with the most touchdowns ever. 27. Chiefs roll the Bears 31-3. Jets Dolphins. Chad Pennington puts the Jets ahead when he hits Anthony Beck with a score. But Olindo Mare, whoa, 22-yard field goal. Miami wins their 10th this season. They beat the Jets 23-21. Did you miss Mike Vick this year? Did you miss plays like that? Admit it, you did. Falcons beat Jacksonville 21-14. For the NFC South champ Carolina Panthers, daylight come and you got it Delhomme. Jake Delhomme, flea flicker, Musa Muhammad. Panthers beat the Giants 37-24. LaDainian Tomlinson, 243 yards. 35-yard run here against the Oakland Raiders. Tomlinson finishes it off. He had a 1,645-yard season, and then he catches his 8th pass of the day, 100 for the season. Tomlinson in the record books with 1,000 yards and 100 catch season. No one's ever done it before. Oh, by the way, though, the Chargers, despite the win, they're on the clock. They have the first draft pick. Playoffs, ABC, Saturday. Tennessee at these Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's beaten them 5 in a row. Sunday, Denver goes back to Indy. They won their big last Sunday night. New England, Kansas City, top 2 seeds get a bye. NFC, ABC, Saturday, late game. Dallas at Carolina in November. Dallas beat them in Dallas 24-20. Sunday, Mike Holmgren and Brett Favre. 2 teams that needed outside help and got it after they won their games. Seattle at Green Bay, that's the Sunday game. Philly, the top seed. St. Louis, the 2nd seed, get an opening round bye. Minnesota not in because they lost the 4, 4, and 12 teams. Giants, San Diego, Oakland, and Arizona.
This halftime show is presented by Toyota. Get the feeling.
Halftime heroes, as we watch Jamal Lewis try to assault the record of Eric Dickerson for most yards in a single season. And interestingly enough, he's exactly halfway there. More on that in a moment. 77 first half. Can he get 77 in the second half? Our halftime heroes include some other record setters. And how about Mike Vanderjagt? Comments at the end of last year. So what does he do? He makes every field goal he tries this year, and his 41st straight dating back to last season wins the AFC South for the Indianapolis Colts. He's in the record book, breaking Gary Anderson's record. Congratulations to him. Priest Holmes, we told you, 27 touchdowns, the most rushing and total touchdowns in a season. And LaDainian Tomlinson, first ever to rush for 1,000 yards and also have 100 catches in one season. And you talk about asymmetrical like Jamal Lewis. Okay, the Patriots begin the season losing 31-0 to Buffalo. They beat Buffalo at the end of the season 31-0. The Raiders go from second best to second worst. They will draft second behind the Chargers. Brett Favre gets a gift from Minnesota, losing to Arizona. Mike Holmgren gets a gift by Dallas, losing to New Orleans. So what happens with these gifts? Mike Holmgren and Brett Favre meet again in the playoffs. Man, it is a symmetrical season. Will we see symmetry in the second half? We saw a touchdown from Jamal Lewis in the first half. The Ravens lead the Steelers 7-0.
He still hasn't found it, but he's in the neighborhood. Jamal Lewis has joined the exclusive NFL 2,000-yard club. He has passed O.J. Simpson and Terrell Davis. He is drawing a bead on Barry Sanders, and Eric Dickerson, number one all-time in a single season, is on the horizon. 77 yards in the first half for Jamal Lewis. He needs 77 yards in the second half to break the record. If you are Brian Billick, you have already made the playoffs. He's got 77 yards. You got to leave him in, at least for a while, to see if he can get the other 77.
Based upon the conversation I had with Brian at the beginning of the game, he feels that way. He said he'd get a sense for the game, and he'd get a sense of where he was in regards to the record. I think he's close enough now, but he's going to have to come out with another big run. I think he needs one more big one, Paul, to really put him in position. Keep in mind, the Ravens have their eye on a bigger prize. I mean, when you talk to Jamal Lewis, it's like, okay, fine, it's a record. But he realizes he's that good, and he realizes that his offensive line is that good. He just says, okay, we want to get ready to go on to the playoffs and have a shot at a Super Bowl.
Paul, the Steelers have had such a disappointing season, but the one thing they don't want on their resume is having Jamal Lewis break the record against them.
Exactly.
Brightful near the 30 moments ago. Susie talked to Bill Cowher.
Coach, Jamal Lewis about 77 yards away. What's the battle cry?
You know what? We're not concerned ourselves with that. I mean, we take a lot of pride in our run defense. In those first two series, he ran like a man possessed. We missed some tackles. We kind of made a couple of adjustments that we had to make, and hopefully that'll carry us through the second half. But we're trying to win this football game. Jamal Lewis is a great back, and hopefully, Eric Dickerson will be happy when the night's over.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
And Susie, Bill Cowher has said since the season turned sour, not interested in playing young guys to try to see what they do. He is interested in winning games. He owes it to his team. He owes it to his fans.
And I think, when you looked at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the first two drives, and when Jamal Lewis was running as well as he was running, all that adrenaline flowing and all those things happened, Pittsburgh Steelers finally settled down. And now they're playing the kind of defense and the run defense that they know how to play. Jamal is not making that quick crack where he sees that hole.
What was that again?
That hitting that crack real quick like he was in the beginning. He's not getting three at the line of scrimmage.
It's cold, I know.
Second and 4. There's that little skip move he loves so much. Got close to the 40, may have the first down.
Paul, with regard to what you just said, in the first two drives for the Ravens, 87 yards and a touchdown is what he had. In the last 5, the Ravens have had 39 yards and 1 first down. So they have to start doing this, converting some first downs so that Jamal Lewis gets a chance to be able to have a shot at the record. I got a kick out of talking to Hines Ward about this. Hines Ward has been all over the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive guys and said, look, you do not want to be the guy in the picture if he happens to break the record. He's really pulling on the pride of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and saying, you don't want to be the guy that's in that picture when he breaks the record, so don't let him get there.
Well, they just got a first down. And the officials are looking at
one another. Bill Coward, there must be something up high.
And I think it's the
sky cam.
The sky cam temporarily hung up. Jamal Lewis now at 2,039 yards. Needs 14 to pass Barry Sanders. Wright stumbles coming out from under center. May have been stepped on by one of his linemen and goes down. Let's go to Susie.
Well, here's the most nervous person in the house tonight. It's Jamal Lewis's mother, Mary. So what's going on inside your stomach?
A lot of excitement, a lot of excitement. I'm nervous, and I'm that 13th man on the field. And right now, I'm excited because I'm wondering what's going on behind me.
Jamal has been so calm as he's approached the record, but what has he shared with you?
That he just want to get the job done. Whenever I call this, Mama, I'm ready. I just want to get the job done. Just get the job done.
What could you do to help him through 2 major knee surgeries?
Just being there as a mother to support him and just to know that, hey, I know that he can do whatever he put his mind to. And I think that is enough for Jamal, just knowing that I'm somewhere in the city, somewhere in the stand, and just being there.
What could you imagine it would be like to have your son in the record books?
It's unreal. He trained hard, and I said to Jamal, whatever God has put there for you, can nobody take it away. So just go for it.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Last completion to Travis Taylor for a first down and another chance for Jamal Lewis.
Mothers are a calming factor, aren't they?
She calmed me down.
She does. I know she calmed her son down.
And I'll tell you, Anthony Wright did a nice job on those last 2 pass plays. Not panicking, but yet picking up the first down. They had a blitz on that last one. He got it done. And I think she's going to see her son carry the football again right here.
Come on, get down, baby.
Lewis dragged down by Ferrier as he got to the 42.
I'll tell you what, if Ferrier doesn't get him, he's off and running again. You know, that's the one thing. You know, the great backs like Barry Sanders and those guys, you wait all game and you know that he's going to break a long one. With Jamal, it's a little bit of a different story. You know, once you can get him into that second level, if he gets by Ferrier there and Porter, he's in that secondary, and I don't know of anybody in the secondary that can bring him down one-on-one.
He has 89 yards on 14 carries tonight, going for his 12th 100-yard game. A rare toss, and Ferrier, who is so consistent in an inside linebacker spot. He leads this club in tackles. He's gone over the 120 mark tonight, and he is always around the ball.
Well, the thing about him, too, is he's playing in a more comfortable position. He's playing off the ball. He was asked to play over the tight end so much when he was with the Jets. Now he has an opportunity to play off the ball and run sideline to sideline. Similar in a fashion to the way Ray Lewis is able to move for the Baltimore Ravens.
There is a concerned mama.
Well, here's a question. Do you throw it, or do you try and pop Jamal through the line?
Throw it.
3rd and 7. Steelers show blitz, and they come. Deshae Townsend off the corner. Can't get there. Wright throws on the run, and that is complete. Chris Hope makes the tackle.
That's back to the original line of scrimmage, Mike.
Yep.
That, you know, I mean, they I tell you what, they came after him, man. And you got to like this defense. They did not allow Anthony Wright to stand back there and throw the football.
Well, Bill Coward, when Susie talked to him at halftime, said they made a few adjustments to what they wanted to do in the first 2 drives, and it's been very effective.
A lot of pride in that Steeler defense, and Antoine Randall L. hoping for another opportunity to field a punt from Zastudil. This thing is straight up in the air and about 12 yards long.
He's got a shot at my record.
What a bounce! Holy cow, that bounced farther than it went in the air, and it still only went 28 yards. Steelers ball when we come back, 3rd quarter. This Ravens defense is working on its 7th straight quarter of shutout football. Maddox over the middle, tipped and intercepted by Ray Lewis. Lewis to the 11-yard line.
That was tipped by Hartwell. Boy, I'll tell you.
The 6th interception for Lewis.
Michael, these linebackers work so good together. Hartwell is the guy that tips the ball up. Ray Lewis is in there to make the interception. Yeah, you can dance a little bit now. But I'll tell you what, you talk about guys watching. Watch Hartwell. Boom, he sees the play. He tips it right to Ray Lewis. That's one of the reasons why they work on tip drills all the time.
That's his 22nd interception, which actually is 2 more than the franchise record was with Woodson and Stark. Your linebacker has your interception record. That's amazing.
He may have every record there is before he's done. Lewis back in, 1st and 10 from the 12. He needs 11 yards to pass Barry Sanders. Straight ahead, just inside the 10. That ball came loose. Picked up by Logan. And Mike Logan back near the 10.
There were no whistles on this play, and that is a fumble.
And that is the one downside to Jamal Lewis. That his 6th fumble loss this year. That ties for the NFL lead in a dubious department. Third quarter, Ravens on top 7-0, but Jamal Lewis has just turned it over to the Steelers, losing his 6th fumble this year, tying Tiki Barber for the most in the NFL.
There's one record you don't ever want.
No. And Mom didn't like that one. Bettis, the tailback. He'll get it from Maddox and pick up maybe 2 yards.
I'm going to tell you, the one guy that's going to really, really be sore when this game is over, that's Jerome Bettis. Because every single yard he has gotten, they've been hard yards.
But you know what? For him, that's a good feeling because he's a pounder. He doesn't. His feet have always been really quick. They're not as quick as they were. Now he's just counting on pure power and banging it in.
In his 11th season, he passed Jim Brown tonight on the all-time list. Bettis picking his way this time. And within a yard of a first down. Let's go to Susan.
Mike, any way you slice it, Jerome Bettis has been the heart and soul of that Steelers team. And Maddox told us that the bus hasn't changed since he met him in 1994 with the Rams. On and off the field, he has an infectious personality. The guys just love to be around him. Hines Ward calls him a true pro, a symbol of what the Steelers are all about. When he is in that huddle, everyone's eyes are on him, and the linemen truly respond.
Susie, you're absolutely right. They wanted that record for him as much as the Ravens want the record tonight for Jamal Lewis. Maddox on the run, throws incomplete. About 5 yards behind his intended receiver, and they'll have to punt it away again.
Well, they have 3rd and 1. They bring in D. Brown for the first time in the ball game.
Well, remember the Cleveland game we did? They had 3rd and 1. Tommy Maddox threw an interception beginning of the middle of the third quarter that Cleveland ran back for a touchdown. So, and you got Jerome Bettis running so good.
Right,
why
just
not
got 9 yards on 2 carries.
Give the big guy the ball.
Miller to punt to Brightful. Miller, fake. The Steelers first down and more. Hope to the 40. Cuts back, needs a block. To the 20. Touchdown, 81 yards.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Now, let me tell you what. Just to set this up afterwards, because we couldn't say anything ahead of time. They say if they get Ed Reed on the right-hand side rushing to the Pittsburgh Steelers left, they were going to run a fake. Watch this. Here comes Reed, number 20. That leaves that whole backside wide open. What's happening is the 2 outside guys were on the gunner. So they weren't even looking back in the backfield. Who would expect the Pittsburgh Steelers from about the 20-yard line to throw a pass or do a fake? This ends up in a touchdown.
The other thing they did is you've got guys down there doing a terrific job of blocking and not clipping and not hitting anybody in the back.
The gas tank was getting a little empty for Chris Hope around the 20. That was an 81-yard play, which nearly matches the 88 yards they've had in total offense all night long. And the Steelers are right back in it. Bill Cowher's special teams pulls off an 81-yard fake punt, and they have tied the Ravens at 7. Jamal Lewis steadily moving up the charts. He's at 2,045. Earlier tonight, he passed O.J. Simpson and Terrell Davis. Now third all-time single season. Only the 5th member of the 2,000-yard club ever. And he is 9 yards away from passing Barry Sanders. That would leave Eric Dickerson as the only one in front of him. But time is starting to get a little short for Lewis in a shot at that record. 7:45 to go third quarter. And on that extra point, there was a holding penalty against the defense, so they will penalize that on the kickoff.
Isn't that right? You run a fake and you give the ball a hope.
And you just hope he gets in.
And he did.
Oh, that was so well conceived. When Coach Cowher mentioned it to us too, they count on somebody's aggressiveness, and what they did is they saw how Ed Reed came. You saw earlier in the game how we showed him being held and how aggressive he was trying to block the kick. And I thought the line did a nice job of sealing, and then the gunner did a good job of trying to run the 2 blockers off.
Rightful and Taylor are deep. Rightful from the goal line. And taken down at the 10. Horse-collared by Clark Hagans. 7:41 to go third quarter. Jamal Lewis, can he break the record? The Ravens started this game so quickly, and it looked like they might blow the Steelers right out of the stadium. And now they're in a dogfight at 7-7. Lewis loves to cut back to his left, dragging tacklers across the 20 to the 22.
Those are the kind of runs that he has to have. First of all, he has to have them to go after the record, but more importantly, he needs them for this offense to be effective. This offense is built around Jamal Lewis.
Well, I'll tell you what, after that fumble, when they put that camera on him in the huddle, did you look in his eyes? You talk about a guy possessed. He's mad about the fumble.
And he has now passed Barry Sanders with 2,056 yards. Ricard takes it, will get up to the 23. So Dickerson, the only one who has had more yards in a single season. 2,056 for Jamal Lewis. 50 yards, and he owns the single season record that is now 19 years old.
And he's got over 21 minutes to do it.
I think Eric Dickerson sitting at home is getting a little bit uncomfortable in his chair about that.
And they'll whistle this play dead as Wright goes back to throw.
You know, I wish that someone would have broken my record.
What was that?
Most punts. Gave you an idea of the...
Before the snap, false start, number 89, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Gives you an idea of some of the bad teams I played on. I mean, I actually, well, the AFL is no longer there, so I can always hold that record. No one can break it. And
what is the record?
Oh, thousands.
Longevity and bad teams will do that for you.
There's 11 punts tonight. You're getting close.
2nd and 13. Wright straight back to throw and airs it out. Robinson on a fly pattern. They have been so successful throwing from Wright to Robinson.
Well, Marcus Robinson again just went right by Dwayne Washington. I mean, he just turned it on and took off. This time he was on the inside and the ball was thrown outside. If these two guys can get on the same page, they'd have about 150 yards more in passing yards.
And I'll tell you, Anthony launched that baby.
Yeah, he didn't underthrow that one.
No.
That's what I meant. You have to get the ball out quick enough so that the guy can go make a play on it.
3rd and 13. Here comes the blitz, and Wright's in trouble, throws it away.
Well, a nice job avoiding negative yardage. He knew exactly where the line of scrimmage was.
Their first-round draft choice, Troy Polamalu, came in on the blitz and got there.
Number 43, Polamalu, comes up inside, and then they also had Dwayne Washington on the outside. They ran a safety and a corner blitz on 3rd down. I like it.
Tell you what, Bill Cowher, you got to take your hat off to him. I mean, he brought this team in here ready to play.
You know, they were actually disappointed that Cincinnati lost their game because they wanted to be able to knock the Baltimore Ravens out of the playoffs.
The Ravens right now do not have a punter.
Zastudil had a concussion, and you saw the problems he had before when he ran off the field. We saw his nose sort of stuffed with packing.
And they still don't have it. Zastudil, I mean, he got knocked silly.
Kyle Bowler's coming out to do some punting.
Boy, this is reminiscent of a Joe Theismann taking the field to punt.
About the same spot. I punted from the 15-yard line in Soldiers Field, and he's got to get this past the 15 to beat my record.
And they're at the 14.
No, I was standing in exactly the same spot.
Look at
Antoine Randall L is very close, and Bowler shanks it, bounces to Randall L at the 43, gives ground, and now got back to where he took it in the first place. A 29-yard kick, but not bad for the quarterback, Kyle Bowler, coming in an emergency situation. We've got a timeout, 5:49 to go, 3rd quarter from Baltimore. Brian Billick had to ask for volunteers to get a punter out there.
That's Gary Zoner, the special teams coach.
Dave Zastudil broke his nose earlier in the game and couldn't go out and punt. Steelers again with great field position. Bettis dragging a tackler down to the 37-yard line.
Oh, Jerome just showed you some quick feet. That play was supposed to go inside the tackle. He broke it to the outside and picked up 6.
Well, he's got such quick feet because he played flag football, and people kept trying to grab the flags off around his belt, so he had to get those feet happy.
2nd and 4. Bettis again. Nailed in the backfield. What a shot by Anthony Weaver, who's been in the backfield 3 or 4 times, and now pushing and shoving after the play.
Well, Hines Ward is the guy that was pushing and shoving on Reed. Hines Ward and Reed are going at it, and Hines Ward will not back off anybody. He's number 86, and I'll tell you, he's about as tough as any wide receiver in the game today.
He just does not get the credit that he should. I mean, Marvin Harrison had 94 catches. He's got 93 catches. He's just headhunting right now.
He would have to Reed knocked him down. Reed got by him. Look at Hines. Hey, hit me second. You're going to get called for it.
3rd and 5, Maddox from the shotgun. Flag is down. Ball is incomplete to Randall L. Thrown in the area where you would expect
this is against Baltimore.
Instead, it's against Baltimore for illegal contact.
This has got to be hands. Is it hands to the face?
Should be.
Illegal hands. Hands to the face. Number 92. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Maake Kimoyatu.
There he is on the right of your face.
Against Kendall Simmons.
Gets that hand up in there, trying to swing at Tommy Maddox's throw and couldn't get to it.
And a good call by the officials and an automatic 1st down for the Steelers. They'll go from the 33 now. Bettis. And Bettis starting to wear on that Raven defense.
This is exactly what Mike Mularkey talked about, having to continue to run the football. When you've got a big body like Jerome Bettis at 250, you just pound on people. Sooner or later, the secondary guys get tired of hitting it. I mean, I think he's good enough to be a Hall of Fame back. He certainly has put the yards up. I don't know what the criteria is, but he's a tough guy. He's been the cornerstone of a Pittsburgh offense for years. It's only been till late that they've started to throw the ball a little more.
Well, only Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton have more career carries in the NFL. He has been a workhorse. Ray Lewis stopped him that time. 12,342 yards. And in this day and age, with the salary cap and movement of players, guys don't often have a chance to come in and stay at one franchise their entire career, but you would love to see a guy like Bettis do that.
A 5-time Pro Bowl selection. And also, you have to realize his numbers would probably be greter, but the Pittsburgh Steelers has changed their approach on offense. They have become more of a throwing team.
Give it to him again.
3rd and 2. Blitz coming. Bettis has it. Dives forward. They're going to mark it at the 24, about half a yard short. Dan Kreider was leading the way trying to get him that yardage.
Yeah, you go for it. You don't kick the field goal here if you're Bill Cowher. No, you go for it.
Well, first of all, they're going to measure it, and they're going to be a half a yard short. This is the pit, and I say give the ball to Jerome Bettis. Look at this. Kreider gets an outstanding block on Ray Lewis, but Ray Lewis is the guy, hit, spins, makes the tackle. It is so difficult to block Ray Lewis out of a hole.
Anytime you have a defensive player making contact with somebody in the backfield, that's where the problem comes.
Almost a full yard, if not. And here comes the field goal team.
Well, there's another coaching staff you're never going to be on.
Well, that's okay. I was just trying to run through the list in my mind, and you know, you're right. I've eliminated most of them. Actually, all of them.
Reed will come on to try the field goal to give them the lead.
Maybe they have a fake in this one, too.
Could be.
A fake punt. Why not a fake field goal?
They want to win this game in the worst way. The Steelers come in 6 and 9. They hate the Ravens and want to knock them off.
And the way they're playing defense, they only need 3 points. And they got it.
Reed knocks it through, and the Steelers, who fell behind early 7-0, have taken a 10-7 lead here in Baltimore, where incidentally they have won 6 games in a row against the Ravens. Well, no matter what team you think is #1, the only place to see them play is on ABC. New Year's Day at 4:30 Eastern, the most talked about bowl championship series in history starts as USC looks to prove they are championship material against Michigan in the Rose Bowl.
You know, Michael, you talk about in a 16-game schedule, and this is the 16th game for both of these teams, that special teams will win or lose 4 games for you. Statistically, that's just the way it is. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers have 10 points. And the special teams have accounted for all 10 points.
And the Baltimore Ravens have committed 4 penalties on their special teams. So you're absolutely right. And especially, I think, not just through the 16 games, Paul, but when you get into the playoffs where you really have good teams playing one another, it's normally a special teams play that can make the difference. I go back a couple of years ago to Troy Brown. When the New England Patriots went on and won a world championship, he had a couple of punt returns in that run that really put the Patriots in the position to be able to go on to the Super Bowl.
Well, that's what kept Kansas City undefeated for such a long period of time with special teams. With Dante Hall.
2:30 to go, third quarter. Steelers now up by 3.
The Steelers,
that's Lamont Brightful.
Excuse me, Mike, but the Steelers only have 4 first downs in the last 8 drives.
Steelers defense has been very, very tough.
As the Ravens defense has.
Brightful across the 25 to the 35 to the 36. Let's go to Susie.
Guys, you know, Brian Billick often says that he's come over to the dark side, an offensive-minded guy who now believes in defense and the running game. He's a convert. Imagine, they are the most run-oriented team in the league. They run 55% of the time, the only team with more rushing yards than passing yards. And Billick says it's as twisted as Tony Dungy getting Peyton Manning as his quarterback. You know he still wants to throw it every down.
And, Susie, you have to go all the way back to 1973 to the Buffalo Bills for a team that was #1 in rushing and #32 in passes. This is completed from Wright to the tight end Terry Jones Jr., who they think has a tremendous future behind Todd Heap.
The other thing that is missing on this Raven offense, and Mike, you mentioned his name, is Todd Heap. He has been a big part of this offense. He had 56 catches coming into this game. He has really been the guy that Brian Billick built the passing game around until Marcus Robinson has come on, and he's been waiting for Travis Taylor for a while to make a move. But Todd Heap has been very, very quiet.
Virtually invisible, 1 catch, 1 yard. Jamal, not much there.
You know, when you talk about this team as a running team, when you go into a game with only 3 wide receivers on your roster, Joe, and what, you have 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, and I mean, you know they're just running the football.
And 6 running backs, 3 of which play on special teams.
This will be 3rd and 4.
I think this is a critical 3rd down for Jamal Lewis to have an opportunity to be able to pick up those 49 yards. They need to start getting some first downs, the Ravens do.
Wright floats one, and Robinson makes the catch at the 30.
That's what they've been trying to do. Take advantage of Marcus Robinson's height.
29-yard gain over Dwayne Washington.
Dwayne Washington at 5'11", Marcus Robinson at 6'3". He actually underthrows him. Washington's in really good position, except he can't get back. And look at how high Marcus Robinson goes up to make the play.
Robinson and Wright both out of South Carolina, 2 years apart. Lewis, 49 yards away from the record, gets the carry. Straight up the middle, had some space to run for a moment inside the 25. That is going to do it for the 3rd quarter here in Baltimore. History can be made in the 4th.
You can. You'd see those ankles flatten out on high definition.
I think I moved down here, Michael, for the last time.
Oh, come on.
22 games.
Oh, Mr. Punter, excuse me.
That a baby. All right. 45 yards short of Eric Dickerson's record.
Boy, they want this for him in the worst way.
I do, too. I want to see it. I love watching history. We were there the night that Chris Carter got his 1,000th catch. I mean, we've seen so much history. Flipper Anderson, 339 yards receiving. Why not?
I still don't believe that one. Eric Dickerson, live from his home in Los Angeles.
E.D. looks a little nervous.
Smiling.
Right to throw. Now scrambles. And looks for a place to go down and does the 24. That's going to leave them about 5 yards short of a first down.
Michael, keep in mind, Anthony Wright took over for Chris Redmond when Kyle Bowler got hurt in a game we did against the Rams about mid-season. Chris Redmond took over, didn't play very well, and they went and put Anthony Wright in, and he's played very well for Brian Billick over the last 5 games or so.
In the first 2 games, they had 35 points each game?
Yep, and they came back and beat the Seahawks, and by the way, congratulations to them. They're in the playoffs. But Kyle Bowler is healthy and did play a little bit last week.
3rd and 5. Lewis hitting the backfield and taking down Ferrier, got penetration.
Boy, you know, we've seen penetration on the other side of the field on the Ravens with Anthony Weaver, the defensive end. Now you're looking at Ferrier, James Ferrier. This is what penetration will do to the running game. It'll absolutely stop it in its tracks. Ferrier just goes right through the fullback and into the backfield, and that's a loss.
Yes, it is. And now Stover, who's had an outstanding lead, outstanding season, will try the long field goal and drills it right down the middle from 46. Zastudil back in action as the holder, and the Ravens have tied it up 10-10 in Baltimore.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, brought to you by Bank of America Higher Standards and Kia Motors. Kia, make every mile count.
beautiful M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, the home of the Ravens, where they have lost 6 consecutive games to their arch rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Jamal Lewis now 48 yards shy of Eric Dickerson's record set 19 years ago of 21:05 in a single season.
And Wade Ritchie's going to kick off.
Outstanding kickoff, man. Second in the league in touchbacks. Ike Taylor on the return. And Taylor down shy of the 25. The playoff games are set. Here is the schedule on Saturday. Tennessee will visit Baltimore. We'll be here to bring that to you on ABC. The second half of the doubleheader. Dallas against Carolina. That is an 8 p.m. start. Then Fox on Sunday. Seattle at Green Bay. Then on CBS, Denver at Indianapolis, the rematch.
And Stephen Davis for the Carolina Panthers will get tested against that defense of the Dallas Cowboys.
13:29 to go in a 10-10 tie. Bettis hitting the backfield and taken down. And that time Terrell Suggs, the rookie out of Arizona State, he and Cornell Brown starting tonight because Adalys Thomas, the great special teamer, is hurt. And Peter Boulware, the great pass rusher.
Well, look at the difference here, Mike. Suggs stays to the outside. When Jerome Bettis, remember in that third quarter when he was bouncing to the outside, they were stuck inside. They told the linebackers, stay outside.
Maddox with time, but McAllister just unloads on Hines Ward.
I think Hines Ward's loved it.
Don't you think? Yeah, Hines Ward, when he gets whacked, he jumped up, looks at the Baltimore bench and said, "Yeah, bring it, bring it.
You can't hurt me."
Watch this. He's going to get nailed right here, and now watch him get up. Boy, he is up in a hurry, yelling at the bench. He gets whacked. I don't know of anybody that really likes to get whacked like that.
I don't know if he held on to the ball either.
3rd and 7. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Maddox with plenty of time. Now can't find anybody and goes down. The sack to Marcus Douglas. His second tonight.
We have seen Casey Hampton for the Steelers, their nose tackle, work real hard sideline to sideline. Watch Douglas. He's number 94. He is on the ground. He's on the ground. Look at him crawl, and make the play. Well, we're seeing some great efforts out of defensive linemen tonight.
Marcus Douglas tonight, Joe, 7 tackles, 2 sacks.
Oliver Ross thought he did a pretty good job on it.
Miller to punt, and Brightful is deep. Another nice kick. And Brightful will make the fair catch at the 36. 43 yards. Jamal Lewis, 48 yards away from a single season record of the great Eric Dickerson. .10 game in Baltimore. The Ravens have the ball back with 11:35 to go. They'll start from their own 37-yard line.
I just think you have to go back to the things that you do well if you're the Baltimore Ravens, and that's run Jamal Lewis. They got away from it after the first couple of series, and they've not been very productive on offense.
He's gained 106 yards tonight. He needs 48 more for the record. And Anthony Wright to throw on first down and has it batted down by Mike Logan, who came on the safety blitz. The numbers on Jamal tonight. Needs 48 yards for the record.
Yeah, but look at, he's got 106, and that's the first time he's done that against this team.
Well, I'm thinking, anybody else having 106 yards on 20 carries, you'd say, boy, that's a terrific job. But there's so much at stake for him and for the history of the game.
Since that great start, he's only had 33 yards on 13 carries. Bill Cowher said that defense adjusted, and indeed they have.
Well,
and they'll whistle this one dead. Travis Taylor appeared to move early.
And they're trying to give him more yardage to run.
Backwards. Prior to the snap, false start, number 89, offense. 5-yard penalty. No second down.
And joining us from his home in Los Angeles, Eric Dickerson, who is the record holder, and the sign says, "I am not nervous."
That is a no, folks.
Eric, how you doing?
I don't.
Hey, what's happening, Joe? How you doing, man?
I don't necessarily believe you're not nervous. I don't think you're real comfortable, though.
Oh, I'm real comfortable. I always say records are meant to be broken. Hey, but we still got a lot of work to do.
Marcus Robinson couldn't hold that one. A perfect throw from Anthony Wright would have been a first down.
Eric, Paul McGuire here.
Yeah.
Did you like the comment that Bill Cowher said at halftime that Eric Dickerson would be happy at the end of this game? Did you hear him say
I did like that comment. Yeah, I did like that comment. Too bad I couldn't be at the game, but I liked the comment.
Did you call Coach Cowher and wish him luck, hoping that the Steelers would beat the Ravens, or hoping that his defense would play well?
Well, actually, my sister called. She works with me. My sister called, because I called her. I said, "Did you call the Steelers?" She said, "Yeah, I called them." She said, "You called." I'm like, "Okay, so she called."
That one is incomplete, right in front of the Ravens bench, and Washington on top of Robinson, and the Ravens really upset. They wanted a pass interference call. It looked like a great play by Washington.
Washington, they thought he went right through the pass receiver. Here it is, but Washington's hands up in the air, and no one was there to call this play. And I think it was an excellent play by Washington.
I did too. Zastudil is back in to kick after missing the last one. Randall L. breaks it to the outside. And Zastudil got a piece, and then he lateral. Zastudil saved the touchdown. 28-yard return. Chris Doering got the ball on the lateral.
Boy, Brian Billick just cannot be happy with what he has seen out of the special teams. And you got to wonder, is this a forward lateral or not?
Well, look at the quick feet. Man, that's moving to the outside. That's beautiful. Now, Doering is behind.
No, he's not.
Yeah, but the only problem is that there's no official right along the line of scrimmage.
That's a forward lateral, but this official crew hasn't done a very good job tonight anyway. Why would they start now?
Uh-oh.
The benevolence is gone.
Mr. Benevolent just died.
I'm sorry. I agree. I think Brian Billick is making a point now. I'm not sure if this is challengeable or not.
All right, from the side. There's Antoine Randall L. That ball is thrown forward. He's at the 49-yard line. Doering catches it at about the 47.
Got a timeout with 11:07 to go in the ballgame. We'll check it in a moment. Referee Walt Anderson discussing the call with the replay officials upstairs. Here's a look at the lateral. Remember, it's where the ball leaves the person who is lateraling it to the person who is catching it, and that is clearly a forward lateral.
You think so?
I think it's a
you
forward
don't?
lateral.
Well, no, I don't.
You don't?
No.
I thought the ball went forward about 1.5 yards.
After reviewing the play, the ball is pitched at the Baltimore 40-yard line and first touched at the Baltimore 40-yard line. Therefore, it is a lateral. The ruling on the field stands. Baltimore is charged with the timeout.
There is absolutely no way that ball was pitched at the 40 and caught at the 40. Watch where Doering is.
Well, first of all, it's at the 50.
Exactly.
Now, Doering, the ball is pitched there.
At the 49.
Look at Doering's hand is behind him when he catches the ball.
What is this official looking at?
I don't know.
I mean,
same thing I looked at. I got it right.
Yeah, that's right. And you two both looked at something that no one else saw.
that one I do not believe.
I do.
That sort of defeats the purpose of having replay.
I'll tell you, Eric and I agree.
But the Steelers have it at the 40. Maddox, McAllister nearly intercepted it.
I think here's a ball that really should have been intercepted.
Well, Baltimore's defense has not made but one play that Ray Lewis has picked off before. And Chris McAllister going to the Pro Bowl. He's sitting right there. Oh, no,
that should have been picked up.
Has to get that one.
You know, what we're watching here, and everybody's so wrapped up in Lewis breaking the record, we're seeing a great defensive football game.
Pettis.
You're right,
Paul.
Paul.
Slowed up and was taken down by Hampton. Let's go to Susie.
Well, and tonight in Chris McAllister, you're watching a Pro Bowler who's having another shutdown night. I mean, he's been consistent shutdown corner this season. He said this afternoon he could barely even watch that Bengal game because he didn't want his mental focus to change. Just before he left the house, he checked out, saw that they had lost. He said, time to take off the suit, put on the jeans and the boots. It's going to be a blue-collar night. Go to work against these Steelers. And he said, you better not try to take me out. We want to beat these Steelers bad. We're tired of them.
Boy, it has been a blue-collar night. They've been throwing lunch buckets at each other. This one is thrown underneath, 5 yards shy of a first down.
Paul, you made a great point. I think everybody is wrapped up in what might happen for Jamal Lewis, that this game has got an intensity level to it on the defensive side that is equal to any playoff game that we have seen. And it's got a chance to go into overtime as well.
And the Steelers are out to go for it on 4th and 5. From here, it would be a 52, 53-yard field goal. They want to move the chains.
And they go right back to that where they bring in D. Brown, number 22, is the lone halfback. Timeout, Pittsburgh.
And Maddox takes the timeout with 9:41 left. .9:41 to go in a 10-10 tie between bitter rivals, the Steelers and the Ravens. Jamal Lewis still needs 48 yards for the NFL record. And to get it, he may only have 2 more series left in this game.
Or possibly overtime.
Fourth and 5, the Steelers will go for it. Maddox hit from behind, the ball's loose. The Ravens have it at the 43, and it was Chad Williams, the backup strong safety, who knocked it loose on the blitz.
What a great job in the secondary, though. Tommy Maddox had absolutely nowhere to go with the football. We said before, if they're going to rush more than 4, he's not going to have enough time to stand there and try and look downfield. Look at the pressure come around from the backside. What a play.
And it doesn't matter who recovers it because it was 4th down and 5. Now the Ravens will start from their own 42. Will Jamal Lewis get the carry on first down?
I would give them a big dose of Jamal Lewis.
Because that's what you are. That's your identity.
Lewis hit by Porter.
Jamal Lewis tonight started out, I mean, this guy was flying. And when you look at what he did in the first 2 series of downs, it was just incredible. Look at his feet, look at his movement, and running over people. Jamal Lewis had it all going for him, and then he got tired, and he got himself out of the game, and he really has not been back to that level that you just saw right there since the first quarter.
But they haven't given him back-to-back carries either. He's got to get back in a rhythm.
He actually lost a yard on that one at 2nd and 11. Lewis on the toss. Got the speed to get outside. Crosses the 45, pushed out of bounds.
You know, Michael, Joe, you just can't say enough about both of these defenses. You talk about guys sacrificing their bodies on defense. These guys on defense, linebackers, defensive linemen, and backs are just throwing their bodies at players. I mean, it's incredible watching these guys. Look at this. Here comes Logan, 31. Now, he's the guy that forces Jamal back to the outside. Washington is out there to make the play. This is team defense.
And that's the way Tim Lewis's defense works. They've got to all have their fits.
3rd and 6. Wright throws complete. That's a first down, Marcus Robinson.
Now, that should be a penalty, okay? If these officials are doing their job, that should be a penalty.
And look at Brian Billick.
And he's absolutely right. I don't know when these officials are going to stop all the extracurricular. You've got 2 very heated football teams, and the officials don't have control. This is not a good job by that referee.
Polamalu.
You can't pile on. He stopped his progress, okay? Let him go. He jumps on top of him. That's 15 yards. That's a very, very, very lousy job by every member of this crew.
Look at Brian Billick, the coach.
I'm sorry. Boy, he is absolutely right to be hot.
From the 47, first down, Jamal Lewis picks his way for a couple.
You know, the guy, I'll tell you, a guy out there that's just playing his heart out is Ferrier, number 1, and Aaron Smith. We don't call his name enough, is number 91. But the defensive linemen, we're watching defensive linemen making plays in the backfield.
Keep in mind,
the backfield.
And that's exactly what Bill Cowher wanted from his defense. They need to play on the other side of the line. Tim Lewis said if we can't play on the other side of the line, then we're not going to be able to stop Jamal Lewis from making those cutbacks.
44 yards away from the record. Wright to throw, blitz. And Wright doesn't get rid of it. He is sacked back at the 46-yard line. And Kendrell Bell with his 4th sack of the season.
Well, they had Logan coming too, the strong safety, Mike Logan, number 31. And these linebackers are coming. And that's what you've got to do against Anthony Wright. Don't let him sit in there. But look at these guys. Kendrell Bell, number 97. That's just pure hustle.
Really moved quick.
Whew. I'll tell you, that's as fast as I've ever seen anybody
I've
run.
never seen a defense move that quick. But Anthony Wright got into the same situation Tommy Maddox did in the last series. You just can't hold the ball a long time. There's too many people coming from different directions.
3rd and 16. Another blitz. Wright unloads for Robinson. Robinson falls down and Washington dropped the ball.
Marcus Robinson ran right up Dwayne Washington's heels and tripped himself. And Dwayne Washington had one go right through the breadbasket. There he is. He just falls down. Now, Dwayne Washington never loses sight of it, and it just falls away from his hands.
He could have actually fair caught that ball.
We've seen 3 balls dropped by the secondary tonight.
And I think that one of the things the Ravens have to do is forget now about getting Jamal that record and worry about winning this football game.
Pressure, they get it out of there. Antoine Randall L. fair catch at the 9. 43-yard kick. 6 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the game. Jamal Lewis is running out of time for that record. He still needs 44 in a tie ball game.
The Steelers have made an excellent adjustment. They're just not giving him a chance to cut back. And Bill Cowher told us, and the point he tried to emphasize with his defense was, if he averages 5 yards a carry and only gets 5-yard runs, that's quite all right. We just can't allow him to have the big ones. We saw 2 big ones from him in the first half and none in the second half.
Well, right now he's gained 111 yards, and the Steelers probably feel like it's a success. Pittsburgh backed up here. Bettis. They string out the play, and Bettis only gets a yard. McAllister, nice job of stringing it out, and then Hartwell made the stop.
To put this game in perspective, it means absolutely nothing to the Baltimore Ravens. But yet, if you're just watching this football game and you don't know records and you don't know about playoffs, you have to think that there's a lot more at stake in this football game just watching the intensity level.
You want to tell the Ravens it doesn't mean anything?
Well, and I'm not going to tell him that either.
That's all I gotta do. The mentality is different. They're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is an old-fashioned rivalry where 2 teams don't like one another.
2nd and 9, 5 wide receivers for Tommy Maddox. Underneath, Antoine Randall L. up to the 19, and he should have a first down.
He's got it. Boy, you talk about awareness. Antoine Randall L. catches this ball and knows exactly where he is. And watch how he gets himself to the first down marker. Look at where the marker is. Look at him. Now, he doesn't see that line, obviously, but he dives. He knows where the marker is, and he picks up the first down.
Looked like he saw the line.
The thing that I've always been impressed about with him is his awareness on the field. He knows where the defenders are. He knows what he needs to do to make positive yards.
Clock running, 4:45 and counting. Bettis. picked up almost 5. Kelly Gregg, the nose tackle, made the stop.
Don't give Jerome Bettis a chance to get going downhill. Paul, you talk about it all the time. Once he gets those shoulders square, there's no stopping him.
No, he really does. To this day, he has excellent feet.
49 yards on 20 carries for Bettis.
We can tell Eric Dickerson he can go to bed early because that record is not going to be broken.
Bettis again. Hartwell hit him in the backfield, and he just crossed the 25. That'll bring up a 3rd and 4. Boy, Hartwell, 3rd year. Ray Lewis in his 8th. Boulware and Thomas, who are injured tonight, both young men. Terrell Suggs is a rookie. Brown in his 6th year. What a great group of linebackers. 3rd and 4. The Steelers need it to keep the drive alive. The Ravens need it so Jamal Lewis would have some semblance of a shot at the record. Maddox with time and dropped by Burris.
Flag
they had
down.
the first down. He couldn't hold it. There's a flag in the secondary.
Oh, it was thrown from way, way down. They're going to call holding on Baltimore, which is going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers a first down. I'm going to talk. You talk about a flag coming from right field. Brian Billick, this guy really got to be beside himself. Look at him.
All he's thinking is, what now?
Before the pass was thrown, holding, number 49, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Chad Williams, he's covering Randall L., and he just doesn't give him a chance to get away. Number 49 against number 42. There's the lockup. Now, he just must be hanging on to him because that's what they called the penalty for.
The overlapping arm grip.
Say that 3 times fast.
No.
9 penalties against the Ravens, 50 yards, and that was a critical one. Back to the bus. 3 yards. Paul, you said it at the beginning. The best chance they had to beat the Ravens was to keep Jamal Lewis and that offense off the field and try some ball control.
Well, you know, they have not done a great job on offense because the 10 points that they do have was a fake punt and a throw and then a field goal. So, but offensively, what they're doing now is controlling the football.
2nd and 7. Maddox to throw. Blitz coming. Can't find anybody. And down he goes. Hartwell, the first to get there.
Well, every time Tommy Maddox double clutches, he's been on the ground tonight. He's just got to get back and cut the ball loose. He just continues to hurt this offense. Watch this. Get back. You don't have it. Get rid of it now. You've got to get rid of it. He's got to have a clock in his head, and you have to sort of know who you're playing. You're not going to have time to take 2 shots.
I was just going to say that clock in your head's got to tick a little faster when you're playing these guys.
Right. You have to understand the speed on the other side of the ball in each game.
Marcus Douglas was credited with half a sack on that. He has 2.5 tonight. 3rd and long for Maddox. Throws on the run very near the sticks at the 40. Antoine Randall L. said I had the first down and doesn't like the mark.
He's going to come up about a half a yard short. Makes the plant, works back towards the sidelines, does a nice job. Just leans on out. Corey Fuller's right in his back pocket. And you see he is short. He's actually about a yard short. Of course, you don't know where these guys are going to mark it, but he's about a yard short.
He was trying to lean forward.
Mr. B is gone.
Mr. Benevolent left out the door yesterday.
I think what they're going to do is take a look and see how far they have to go.
Here,
and Joe.
What do you do?
Joe, what do you do?
Yeah, if you're Bill Cowher, what do you do?
Well, you've come this far to try to win this football game, okay? I would punt the ball because your defense is playing so well. If you have to go into overtime, go ahead. I mean, they came down here with one purpose in mind. Well, actually 2. Shut Jamal down so he doesn't get the record And two, I think first of all the first one would be to win the game.
Wait a minute, hold on, I'm confused. There was
well,
first
they got
and
two.
then there was second.
Well, they got win the game and then shut Jamal down, or either way you want to go. But I think win the game first.
Are they related?
His best chance to win the game, is where I'm wrong. They're going to go for it.
They are at least sending out the offense.
They have a good yard to go.
You got to figure with the noise in this stadium, Tommy Maddox probably won't get up there and try and draw him off sides because the offensive line's not going to hear him anyway.
Bettis is the deep man. And they are going to go for it. And Bettis didn't make it. The Ravens defense rose up and stuffed the Steelers running game. But here is the irony of it.
If Jamal,
they're at the 40-yard line and he needs 44 yards.
They need a 5-yard penalty.
They may get it. Two minutes to go in a 10-10 tie. Ravens have the ball. The Steelers turn it over on downs at the 40-yard line. Jamal Lewis needs 44 for the record.
As far as the game goes, I think it's always important if you're a playoff team to win the last game of the season as you get ready to go on, especially for the Ravens that are going to play next week and don't have a bye to sort of put it behind you. Momentum is very important as you go into the playoffs.
From the 40, Jamal Lewis, the deep man in the eye. Steelers show blitz and come with it. Lewis, a couple and no more. Eric Dickerson joins us live from Los Angeles. Eric, in your heart of hearts, are you rooting for him or against him?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I'm rooting against him. I can't tell a lot. But I always say all records are meant to be broken, but for sure, I'm rooting against him.
I know you have watched Jamal Lewis on many occasions. What do you think of him?
I think he's big. He's very strong. He's very intimidating, I think, for the defensive backs and the linebackers because he's such a big, strong, fast guy. I didn't realize he was really this fast until I saw him a couple of weeks ago.
Does have some speed, doesn't he?
A lot of speed for a big man.
Wright straight back to throw. Taylor makes the catch at the 32 and out of bounds.
Eric, you've seen a lot of backs. I know you're tickled that they're throwing the ball now, too. I mean, the joy is just coming through the television set. You've seen a lot of the backs. I think there are just 8 guys in the AFC alone that have gained close to 1,500 yards. Do you feel like the day is coming? You talk about the records being broken. Do you think one of the guys really has a shot at your record in the not-too-distant future, if not Jamal?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that record will fall. It's no doubt about it because, you know, the backs they're getting bigger, they're getting stronger. The offensive lines are so big and physical now. I mean, you look at this Ravens offensive line. It's very physical. For sure, one day that record will fall.
3rd and 2, and they are not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage with Jamal on that shot.
Just one other question for Eric. Eric, with 16-game schedule, they're always talking about a guy getting 1,000 yards. Isn't the number jumped now to 1,500?
You know, I've said that in the last couple of years. I mean, even when I played, I always felt that when a back goes over 1,500, 14, you know, the 1,700, 1,800 yards, that's when you're having a great year. I mean, 1,000 yards, I mean, please, you can average, 60 yards a game and get that. That's not much. I mean, but when you get into the 15, the 16, that's when you're really having a great year.
All right, let me update you on the situation here. There's 46 seconds to go in the game. It's going to be 4th down and 3. Stover started on the field and then came off. So we'll see if Brian Billick is going to go for a long field goal try or if he's going to try to go for it on 4th down.
He's going to try and kick the field goal here to win the football game. Brian Billick, I mean, is at the point where he has to make that decision. Is it good for my football team to keep on pounding, or is it time to try and win it and prepare ourselves for the playoffs? I think he's going to try and do the right thing. Now, if this kick isn't made, we're looking at overtime, and Eric, you better bring that sign up one more time.
Yeah, they go to overtime.
I know that's right. You're right. I'm hoping, I'm praying he makes this field goal.
You've never rooted this hard for anybody in your life.
Oh, my God. I have a lot of people at my house right now rooting with me.
Short. And it's not overtime yet because the Steelers would only have to go about 35, 40 yards to have a shot at their own field goal.
And I think they have all 3 timeouts left as well. So the opportunity is there for the Steelers to have a shot at it.
They burned 2, Joe. They only have 1 left.
Okay.
Well, the one thing they don't need Maddox to do is to stand in that pocket. Get rid of this thing in a hurry, and if you're going to throw it in the middle of the field.
You know what? Eric Dickerson was such a great player, and I really admire him for his honesty tonight.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to keep that record, and that's cool. I can understand that.
I mean, and I'm sure he's going to hang around if there is overtime just to make sure that he gets the right vibes going in the right direction.
Maddox with a chance to pull it out for the Steelers. Under pressure. Throws on the run, and what a catch by Randall L. Are you kidding? It's only a couple of yards, but a brilliant grab in front of Chad Williams. And now Maddox is going to use his last timeout with 26 seconds left. Who is the NFL MVP? There are your choices. Brady, Holmes, Lewis, Manning, and McNair. How did you vote? Peyton Manning by 1/10 over Tom Brady, 141,000 votes. Jamal Lewis also in the 20s.
Wow, what a ball game. I mean, that balloting is as close as the ball game is tonight.
Isn't this something?
Now, this would be a break for Jamal Lewis. If it goes to overtime, he has a new life and a chance to pick up the 43 yards.
And this is the big thing. I don't think that the Ravens can give Tommy Maddox a chance to make a 20-yard throw. I think they're going to have to bring pressure on him because if he gets a 20-yard throw, he can spike it and they'll have a shot at the field goal.
No timeouts left for the Steelers. 4-man rush, and Maddox intercepted by McAllister. Taken down at the 35. There's only 17 seconds left.
But the Ravens still have 2 timeouts. All right, this is McAllister on the intercept. This ball, everybody stops. Plexico Burress stops. McAllister doesn't. He's looking at the ball. Nice play. And really, he's not worried about getting out of bounds to stop the clock because the clock's going to stop on the turnover anyway.
Well, you wonder what Plexico's thinking.
Well, this is a miscommunication. He looks like he stopped because he thought the route was a stop. A lot of times you see guys pull up because they don't think they can get on top of a defender. That one he stopped, turned around, and all of a sudden the ball was in the air. So that's got to be a miscommunication between Tommy Maddox and Plexico Burress.
Do you throw this ball with 2 timeouts in 17 seconds?
No, you run it. You go to overtime.
Yes, they do throw the ball.
Wright is going to throw, comes to the near side, and that's complete in front of Dwayne Washington.
Forced out.
At the 47-yard line. Robinson made the catch, pushed out of bounds.
Ravens have 2 timeouts. You can throw a ball into the middle, but it's going to have to be a 20, 25-yard pass for the opportunity to be able to have a shot at a field goal.
See, what they determined there, the official determines that he would have been able to come down inbounds with the ball.
I think they're right.
Which is the same type of a decision that was made in the Minnesota Vikings-Arizona Cardinal game today, of which Dave McGinnis won an unbelievable football game with his Arizona Cardinals and eliminated the Minnesota Vikings from the playoffs.
Play has been reviewed.
Oh.
Well, the only thing that really, the only thing you can review in this is did he have control of the ball when he went out of bounds?
Because
that's the only
you can't
thing.
review the push out. That's a judgment call by the official.
That's
I don't even understand. All right, did he have? All right, folks, the only thing you got to look at, does he have control of the ball when he comes out of bounds and he hits the ground?
Well,
is that ball? Well, let's look at it from this side. Robinson is knocked out of bounds. Now, when he hits the ground, does he have control of the football? And that is the only thing.
There we go. Now, is he going to the ground? As he goes to the ground, does he have control?
Yes, he does.
Sure does.
He has the ball.
Yep, there we are.
And again, that is the only thing that can be reviewed because the pushed out of bounds ruling in the air is a judgment call by the official that is not reviewed. And the situation is 11 seconds remain, and the Ravens are still not anywhere close to field goal territory.
Now remember, the last time Walt Anderson went under the hood.
After reviewing the play, The receiver maintains control of the ball upon landing to the ground. It is a catch. First down.
I'm glad I saw the end of that Arizona game. That's how you know about this. You know, now the thing about it is, think about something. When Joe's talking about going down the middle of the field, it'll be open. Yeah, you can. And it doesn't have to just be the quarterback to call timeout. Anybody can. So the receiver can as soon as he hits the ground.
Or he can just give himself up, and they're supposed to blow the play dead.
Wright gets this one complete to the 33. They signal timeout with 3 seconds left. Marcus Robinson, he and Anthony Wright really have a connection.
Well, Anthony Wright had all the right time to throw the ball. This offensive line gave it to him.
This was pregame, and the longest kick Matt Stover made in warm-ups was 50. He was short from 52 just moments ago.
Now, let me just say this about warm-ups. During warm-ups, he starts kicking about the 15-yard line. By the time he gets back to the 50, his leg is nice and loose, and he's been swinging it a little while.
Yeah, but Wade Ritchie is the guy that's going to try this field goal, and it's not going to be Stover.
Because Ritchie has such a great leg, they will use him for long field goal attempts. He can crush it.
And he's the one that's used to standing around.
That's right.
Because all he does is kick off.
And stand around.
And stand around. And stand around some more.
He has mastered the stand around very well.
So if Ritchie makes this field goal, Baltimore will win the ball game, and Jamal Lewis will not get the additional overtime shot at the record.
No, that's short.
That's short. And this can be run back. Deshae Townsend. Time has expired, and Deshae Townsend down the sideline and thrown out of bounds.
No, it's
lateral. They're still going. The Steelers are still going.
That's Ferrier.
Now we're in overtime.
And the only thing we didn't have on that was the Stanford ban.
Eric's going to take a Tylenol right now. Now the upset stomach starts.
And Jamal Lewis will have overtime to try to pick up 43 yards. Maybe this is fate.
Didn't we mention that word? Don't look at me that way, Paulie. I just thought you brought it up. The defenses have played so well.
I mean, when you look at this score, it's 10-10, and the Ravens scored early in the first quarter.
And the Steelers have scored on special teams.
Two special teams. So this is all defense.
Well, this is a pretty good way to end the regular season, isn't it?
And Jamal's up. He's getting the rushes he wants. 4.4 average, 1 touchdown. Needs just 43 yards. His first 100-yard game against the Steelers.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. I honestly think if the Ravens have come this far in this ball game playing their number 1 guys.
Yeah, Eric, we see you.
I'm just telling you, if they're going to keep their number 1 guys in this long, they want to win this football game. It has nothing to do with Jamal winning that record now.
Pittsburgh will call the toss. The call is tails. It is tails. Pittsburgh's won the toss. Will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
15 minutes on the clock. 2 timeouts apiece. The Steelers will have it when we come back. Coming up on SportsCenter in about an hour and a half, Seattle's BCS-like playoff run. Our conversation with Kobe Bryant. Boomer's plays of the year. We are in overtime in Baltimore. The Steelers and the Ravens, bitter rivals, tied at 10.
I know 2 plays that are on Boomer's plays of the year. The New Orleans Saints last week, and I think the Arizona Cardinals finished this week. Today, actually.
They'll probably make it. Indianapolis.
That's right. Congratulations.
That kick he made.
Vanderjagt's got himself a new record.
Wasn't that a way to set that record? To win the division, no time on the clock, a 43-yard field goal. Pittsburgh gets the ball first. They'll start from their own 19-yard line.
Okay, here we go. It's the start of the game.
I wish it wasn't one more quarter. This is just too good a football game. Don't move away. You feel the same way,
you know,
too.
there's sometimes I feel like you don't really have any place to go, do you? You really don't. I mean, you just rather be in this booth. Why don't you just stay right here until next Saturday?
No, I want to get home.
This place is still packed.
Hey, there's nobody's left.
And their voices haven't gone away either.
D. Brown is in at the running back spot. I think Zaraway was injured earlier. They go with a flanker screen. They'll only pick up about 3 yards that time. Randall L. makes the tackle.
Everybody's staying around to see the outcome of this football game. Boy, they love their Ravens here in Baltimore, much as they love their Orioles.
Man, oh man.
Look at that. The House of Purple.
Art Modell, be proud.
I was just going to say the same thing. You know, Art Modell, who missed tonight's game with a case of the flu, is watching on television and rooting for his Ravens. Randall L. with a great catch up near the 27-yard line. Let's go to Susie.
Yeah, guys, how could you even question leaving all your players, even though this game really doesn't mean anything until the bitter end? I mean, for Brian Billick, he said this is the type of game that builds confidence going into the playoffs, to beat your bitter rival, Pittsburgh, and the team that's won this division the last couple of years. This is what it's all about for this Ravens team.
Susie, absolutely. There is no way that Brian Billick is going to pull players out of this game and watch the Steelers march down the field and beat them in this one.
Well, here's the thing. You're in an overtime game. You've got a short week coming up. So why do you leave your players in? First of all, there's a familiarity with Tennessee. The Baltimore Ravens, it's not like they're playing somebody that they haven't seen before or don't have a history with. They do have a pretty good understanding of the Tennessee Titans. So there's a little bit of that going for them. And like Susie said, hey, you wanted that momentum going in.
I'm not going to jinx anybody. I know I'm not, because I'm going to just tell you something. The only guy, these guys have been busting each other.
You're doing this on purpose.
The only guy that's even got the slightest bit of an injury tonight was the punter, got a broken nose. You don't get hurt in a game like this. You don't. You just, everything, you're playing your heart out. This is absolutely a terrific football game.
3rd and 3. Maddox will go to the shotgun. 4-5 wide receivers.
Randall L. is the guy you have to keep an eye on.
He's caught everything you've thrown at him.
Maddox throws too high. It was intended for Randall L.
Again, the pressure from that front four. Mike Nolan is the defensive coordinator of the Ravens, and boy, he has done a wonderful job transitioning away from the 4-3, the 4-down linemen and the 3 linebackers, to basically a 3-4 defense, similar to what we see Romeo Crennel do up in New England and Bill Belichick with their defense.
Steelers can't get a first down in overtime. They'll kick it away to Brightful. He waits in his own 30. Ravens are very good punt blockers. They got some pressure. Brightful from the 30. Made a couple of guys miss. Dives forward to the 35-yard line. 43-yard punt. Mike Logan down on special teams. Eric Dickerson, 19 years he has held the record. 2,105 yards in a season. Jamal Lewis is closing in, but still needs 43 yards to break it.
Now, Eric, wouldn't you love to see him take this handoff and just break it all the way for a touchdown?
Oh, yeah. Can he please? Of course not, Joe. Man, I'm so frustrated with this football game.
Yeah, I noticed that sign, "I'm not nervous," is not there anymore, is it?
Oh, man. It's like, hey. This is overtime. It don't even count now.
Lewis is the deep man in the eye. Right to throw, and it's caught by Robinson.
Boy, there's a flag on the play, and there's a personal foul against the Pittsburgh Steelers for hitting the quarterback in the side of the head, which is going to add another 15 yards to this play.
Foul. Roughing a passer, number 55, defense.
Joey Porter.
Contact to the quarterback's head, 15-yard penalty. First down.
That'll take it to the 27-yard line.
I think you kick it now.
I agree with you. But, you know, the thing about it is you played all night long so hard. So many things happened. And Joey Porter, I mean, come on. This is a bad call.
See, I'm telling you, to me,
he is blocked into him, and his arm happens to be there. I mean, it wasn't an intentional hit to the head.
Boy, there have been a couple of awful calls.
Well, Joey Porter is getting blocked in. Now his hand comes down, and I mean,
see, but here the rule, and this is my
rule says you touch the head.
It's my problem with the rule. They should have two separate rules. They should have a 5-yard penalty and a 15-yard penalty. That would have fallen in the category of a 5.
Lewis to the 25.
Brian may just run him a couple of times to try and get him a little bit closer to Eric Dickerson. And Eric knowing quite well that 25 yards does not total anywhere near he is.
If you try the field goal from here, though, it's 42 yards. That's not a gimmick.
No, not by any stretch.
Mary Lewis sensing that her son may not get the record.
He may not get the record,
but he is number 2, and that ain't bad.
He's sure special.
He's number 1 in her heart.
Oops, they'll whistle this one dead.
Well, this is going against the Ravens.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 86, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Oh, Brian, is this wearing on Brian Billick?
Well, Brian Billick's got a little bit of work to do. He's got some work to do on his special teams. I think he's got some work to do with the penalties. Travis Taylor, the wide receiver, has been called twice for false starts. Now we see Todd Heap getting called. I mean, this isn't the way you want to go hurling yourself into the playoffs. Not with these many mistakes.
2nd and 13. Lewis hit by Ferrier at the line of scrimmage and fights forward for a couple. Boy, has Ferrier been good tonight?
That's all you call is 51 Ferrier.
He is a sensational player, and when you're in a group with Gilden, Bell, and Porter, how much publicity is there to go around?
Enough. For those 4 guys, they should share it equally. There's some great linebackers in this game tonight.
Oh.
You look at the ones just on the Pittsburgh side. Then you go over to the Ravens side, and it's incredible.
You also look at the coaches in this game. Tim Lewis should be a candidate for a head coaching job. Matt Cavanaugh, Mike Malarkey. You got guys that really have legitimate shots. Mike Nolan to be head coaches.
Drop at the 15-yard line. Terry Jones Jr. couldn't hold it.
They're going to take the junior off his jersey.
Well,
this ball should have been caught. Look at this throw.
Anthony
down
Wright.
low. You've got to go down and get the ball. Forget about who's covering you, and that's Logan. Forget that. And catch the football.
That's one of the things they like about Anthony Wright is his ability to get out and make plays outside the pocket.
The Ravens have had 3 shots at winning this game with a field goal. This is 47 yards from Matt Stover. And he got it. Matt Stover has won the game in overtime.
What a football game.
Valiant effort by Jamal Lewis. But Eric Dickerson says 19 years and counting. ED, you are absolutely right. Thank you for joining us. We will have to wait for another year to see that record fall if it ever does. But Jamal Lewis gave it everything he had, 114 yards tonight. We'll be back next Saturday to do the Ravens again. This is a good football team.
Happy New Year, everybody.
The Ravens win in overtime. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Susie Culver, and our entire crew, this is Mike Patrick saying goodnight from Baltimore. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.